Hello, everyone, and welcome back. You may notice that things are looking a little bit different here in the studio. Oh my gosh, resubscribe. Hi, Shaky Scott.
Wait till we were live.
Well played.
So, I literally waited till the second we were live. Don't judge me.
So, I want to check in with the players here really quick. And actually, Ben, could you do me a favor and tilt the camera up ever so slightly?
Oh, your head's getting cut off.
Yeah, there we are.
That was low.
It might be a little tricky to see the map. Mm-hmm. Are you all able to see it here? If not, I can, after we draw it, I can kind of bring it in here for you all to take a look at.
Oh, yeah. That works, yeah.
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 So, first off, I'd like to welcome a couple people to the table. We've got Josh.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. We heard some music from him earlier today. And RJ
Hey!
is joining us here as well.
What up?
As we dive into this, I do want to give just another big old thank you to all of you. It means the absolute world to us that you have been here and you've been supporting us through this. We still have a little bit of... oh, actually, no, I did that time update. Currently, for our 8-hour stream that started at 11 a.m. today, we have about 7 hours left.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's been 100% because of you all. We have currently made $950 in total towards our goals.
Cool.
That is enough
Amazing.
for our extra microphones. It is enough for the almost enough for the video card that we need, and we'll be moving our way into the cameras after this as well. I'm going to do a little bit of moving around of this screen here. We're playing a game here today as we get into the night that some of you may be familiar with, some of you may not be familiar with. It's called Skeletons.
So cool.
Skeletons is a small role-playing game, has very little dice rolling. In fact, you can do it with no dice rolls at all. You can also play this as a solo game. You can play this by yourself if you just want to tell a story. But most of this is descriptive, 100% narrative, where we all will be playing skeletons of a dungeon. We are not the adventurers who are delving into dungeons. We are the skeletons and monsters that live in the dungeon that come alive when adventurers come to join.
So cool.
That's so awesome.
We will be here for a very long time.
See the other side of it.
And eventually the story will end with our end, because it's the only way that it can end. Also, it's probably okay. One Adventures Pack on one screen and Baldur's Gate 3 on the other.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love it. Sick.
Oh, what a night.
It's probably okay. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are $100 away from our next goal and the next cast announcement and song reveal from their playlist.
Cool.
And the potential of eating the one chip challenge. I saw it on the table out there. That looked dangerous.
It is locked behind a glass case. Only your dollars know where the key is. You have to
open
give
it.
them to us to find the key.
They actually kept it behind the counter at 7-Eleven. I had to ask for it
Seriously?
like it's a pack of cigarettes or something, so the kids couldn't get their hands on it.
I mean, we will be
Only
smoking
that's-
after we
That's
take
true.
it. So.
That's true.
That's actually
out the
smart.
ears, though.
It's probably okay. Thank you so very much for that subscription. 14
Yeah.
months here in the tavern.
Awesome.
Pull up a chair. It is so good to see you. We've set this up. We've got a blank sheet in the middle because we are going to be making a map. I've got my cartography gear on because the map will be made with us describing
I
it.
thought it was just fashion.
I know, right? So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and dive on in.
Anime glove.
Love it.
I love this surround sound.
Immersive.
This is amazing.
Where's Dungeon Depths when you need it?
Our sponsor, Cantrip Candles. For the gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
And as
I
always,
said
chat, if the music is too loud at all, feel free to let me know. we want to make sure that you can hear us, and we want to make sure that you are going to enjoy this. So we're going to give a quick rundown of what this game is. Skeletons, which is backwards in my screen right now. Snetvelikets is a game.
It's impressive, actually. Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Please tell me we're not doing the whole game like that.
Nautilus.
My goodness gracious. Brennan Murkai. Brennan Murkai, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Adventures Pack. We're a bunch of nerds sharing what we love on the internet. Today we're doing a fundraiser to raise the funds to help out with the gear needs that we need to get Campaign 1 up and going. We're going to do our first narrative campaign, and to give you a taste of that, we're going to be doing a narrative story here. So, technically it's not skeletons, it is the skeletons.
Oh, sorry. The Facebook.
Important distinction.
Yes.
Years fly by like dead leaves. Everything is darkness. Everything is silence. You stand vigilant before the sarcophagus without thought or breath. Such is your compulsion. You do not remember your name. And still you watch. The flesh has fallen off your bones, and still you watch. And then one day there is a light and motion, and you weigh your bearded axe and raise your shield, lusting for the fray. Brent Merkel, thank you so much for the subscription.
Brent, thank
1
you.
month or 1 month here in the tavern. Pull up a chair. It's great to have you. Eager to measure your skill against those tomb-robbing children so full of blood. You'll never be alive again, but in this moment, in the chaos between violation and destruction, you truly live, and you remember what you once were, and you taste the sun. If you're interested, all that you need to play this game is 1 to 6 players with 1 or more hours to spend together.
What's that clock at?
We have 6 hours and 49 minutes and 28.
We got time and
27.
space.
Pronounce of the rules, book will suffice. And the character sheets, the skeletons. Optional, sounds of a tune being played as the years grind past. Today's sound is brought to you by, well, it's not brought to you by, but Tabletop Audio is a fantastic resource. I've been using them for many years. You can go check them out, tabletopaudio.com. The person who started this was a gentleman. His kid played D&D. He was a musician. He said, you know what this needs? Music. And now all of this is free to you. We are patrons of him on Patreon, which is why we feel... it's one of those things you are allowed to use these for your streams, but it's encouraged to be a patron, of which we are. And there's also other perks you can get, like sound effects without the music, or the music without the sound effects. Each of you you're going to get to choose one of your skeletons. There are 7. Each one has has specific questions that you might answer during the game, and when the game begins, you know nothing. Just as you remember nothing, each skeleton is a cipher, and over time, you will learn more. So
This is so cool.
I'm going to hand these across. Don't worry, there's
How fun.
multiple of each of these. So if you see
cool.
one that you want, you can grab it. I'm going to pull this up for our audience to see as well. So the first one is the silver torque. A beautiful silver torque decorates your collarbones, and you carry a blunt silver sword. Sketch in the details on the illustration. So it is encouraged that you you draw in more of the details. The rusted shirt. A rusty coat of mail hangs off your bones. You carry a bent spear. Sketch in the details. The tattered cloak. Scraps of once red cloth shroud your bones. You carry a battle-scarred sword. The headless.
Oh.
Your skull is long gone, but it doesn't matter. You carry an iron mace and a holy symbol. The arrow shield. A round shield peppered with arrows protects your bones. You carry a bearded axe. The outsider. Your bones are unlike the others. You carry a weapon that suits your frame and fearsome armor. The horror. You were assembled or summoned or imagined by an unstable mind
Ugh.
and made real. You carry no weapon. You are a weapon. but you are adorned with jewelry. The big head. A narrow band of tarnished silver encircles your bulbous skull. Around your neck hangs an amulet bearing a strange symbol of forgotten meaning. The Crawler. Bent in life, bent in death. You cannot stand upright. You scuttle and crouch like a beast. You carry a much nickeled knife and wear the remains of an elegant fur-trimmed jacket. These are our skeletons.
We've been talking about skeletons a lot tonight.
Yeah.
They are. And Zagmeister, how does the axe have a beard? Well, you see the axe is it's in a relationship with someone it doesn't love, but for societal purposes, they are presenting. They're giving them something to hide behind. So.
Oh boy.
Is that still a term? I don't remember.
I don't know if it... Probably.
I think so. Yeah. It's a period piece after all, isn't it?
While we're making jokes, I'm going to get it out of the way before we get serious here. The character sheets start off very bare bones, but as we go, we flesh them out. All right, I'm done.
Willingly.
While our players are choosing the characters that they want to play, I do want to talk to you a little bit. But when we've been working towards this campaign for a very long time. I know we've talked about this quite a bit. But one of the things that we did was we held chemistry tests to make sure that beyond just having... We are a group of friends sharing what we love. And beyond just friendship at the table, we wanted to make sure that we were we were giving you the best show with the best chemistry. So much like any television show or movie, we did chemistry tests to make sure that the personalities at the table would fit for the show the story that we were telling. And this is one of the games that we played as a chemistry test for the show.
I am not paid for my drawings. Don't judge me on my drawings. These are hard.
Now, also, while our players are sketching these out, I am going to ask you all to multitask. What did you choose?
I chose the Crawler, bent in life and in death.
I love it. Carrie, what about you? What'd you pick?
I chose the tattered cloak.
Love it. Ben?
I chose the horror. The horror, sorry, for those who don't speak weird.
RJ, what are you going with?
I chose said bearded axe and arrow shield.
All right. Now, while our players are finishing up their sketches, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the next step, in which we get to draw the map together. We work together to sketch the outlines of a tomb. It can be any general shape or size. It needs to be built around a central sarcophagus and have north, south, east, and west walls. It's fine to make the tomb visually interesting, but don't add any elaborate details. Leave plenty of room for added information as you play. Draw on the map where your skeletons each stand silent and watch in the darkness while the tomb remains undisturbed. So, what I'm going to do is go ahead and start off with a central location for our tomb. So we're going to zoom in here, really get as close as possible to give us as much room as I can, and we're going to have our central sarcophagus room. I'm going to ask you all, do you think that you are protecting a single sarcophagus, or are you protecting multiple?
Ooh.
I do love multiplicity.
Duplicity.
one.
Maybe like lots of important people or one important person.
Ooh, I like the
Yeah.
like protecting the king or once king
Mhm.
or queen.
Regent for
Region.
a non-binary option.
Perhaps it was a monarchy or a dictatorship, hence why it fell. It wasn't a healthy society.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe one.
I think one big one.
Ooh.
I had to. I had to.
I love it.
All right, so we have, not quite in the center, a single sarcophagus.
It's a sarcophagi, not a sarcophagus.
Sarcophagi.
Damn it. I'll see myself out.
It's okay. It's okay.
That was low-hanging fruit and I missed it.
You gotta warm up a little.
I only got the branch. It's okay, I'm bone tired.
Kind of a
Dead
draining
ass.
day.
Oh boy.
Too bad none of us are playing the headless because then it'd be no cap.
Oh,
Full stack.
thank God this doesn't qualify for Friday night.
Well, so here's what I'm actually going to do. For the sake of our narrative show, I'm actually going to request that for this stream in particular, all jokes aside, you are here to guard this single sarcophagus in the center. You don't know why, but I really want us to sink into our rules for this. So we have a single sarcophagus here in the center. What do we think as this map continues to grow? I know we can kind of see a little bit of it here in the center. I'll try and move it back and forth so you all can kind of see what we have going on. I'm going to bring this on over here so that our players can see, and we can kind of decide what we want to do with it in the meantime.
Well, it would be an embarrassment to be buried without your riches and symbols of your status. So I think this room would have to have some kind of decorations or adornments.
Chests
Or,
and
chests of
statues.
treasure.
Do you think that would be within the same chamber? Would it be an antechamber? Would it be the chamber right before? Or would it be a chamber right after?
Right after. I think there'd be something in here, but the big treasure would be after. I don't know.
I like that.
It's like my initial inclination.
Even in death, they protect their hoard.
Yeah.
So an antechamber, small tunnel or hallway leading away. How big of a hoard are we talking?
Huge.
Bigger than the sarcophagus room itself?
Yeah.
King's
Whoa.
ransom.
We did say it was a big sarcophagus, but I think it's got to be bigger.
This is walk to the gates with like as much as you can.
All right, in that case, I'm going to make that
accumulate.
room smaller.
King Tut's tomb.
Part of me also wants to think that this is like, because it's so large, it's like hidden in secret.
For sure.
I feel like we're going down National Treasure path.
Right.
now.
Yeah. No. For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Whatever treasure's in this room is a decoy,
I think
and
so.
then it's a secret door.
In the
Sure.
sarcophagus room, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
it's a decoy. And the actual treasures and the secret, you have to like, push a series of buttons or turn the statues in a certain way to open the door to the actual treasure.
Or only those worthy of its worth.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you think that they were hoarding like actual gold and like jewelry, or are they hoarding like books and knowledge, or
All of
Probably all of it, yeah.
I mean,
instruments, statues?
Like all the earthly possessions that this person had.
based on the state of my tattered cloak, I don't think I would have been the type of person who would even be allowed in there, so I can't even imagine.
So, with this being hidden away, is the tomb itself hidden away? Is the entrance hidden away? Or is the facade that it's a tomb, not just treasure?
Maybe it's a hidden entrance, and it's just like a series of things to try to keep people away, and they make it think that the sarcophagi is the like main treasure of this whole thing.
Right.
So it's like if you do a series of tests and you end up there, you think that you ended at the end, but really there's more to go.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's probably not. What's the pre-chamber?
4-chamber, right?
The antechamber?
Sure.
Is that what anti?
I'm pretty sure the antechamber is the chamber right before the
That
final
would
chamber.
make sense.
Sure, okay.
Sounds right.
That would
Ante-
make
yeah.
sense.
What
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if there were a couple of those before the sarcophagus
Yeah.
room.
And then there were like some kind of traps before that. Something to make them think that the sarcophagi was.
the
But
file?
I imagine
worth it.
the
worth
adventurers
journey.
wouldn't keep coming here to loot this place if they didn't know something was here.
Mhm.
So perhaps they know of it as a tomb, but the real treasure is hidden behind.
What if no one's come to loot it before though?
If it's also all the same to you, I'd like to open this up to the chat as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If
Hit
any
us
of
with
you
your ideas.
have any thoughts as to things that we could add to this this dungeon,
Well, and I guess the question is this a private burial or a public burial? Like, is this a place where people would come to pay respects to the dead?
Mm.
Or is this a place that it's meant to be hidden and
You
secret?
could go after. Like
Yeah.
your respects happen somewhere else. This
Yeah.
is where you get buried after. You get buried with those that would guard you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Usually places that had people that were guarded were to stop those from coming in. And to guard in the afterlife as well.
Yeah, I'm getting more pharaohs of Egypt vibe where they're buried with the treasure and then sealed in there.
Yeah.
And we were sealed in there with them to prevent any intruders, but it doesn't feel to me like the kind of place people come and go as they pay respects.
Yeah. It feels a little bit more Indiana Jonesy.
West Night of the museum.
so I'm going to put in a large sealed gateway.
Cool.
Sick.
Part of me is also thinking maybe like to proceed through to the final chamber, you have to like the adventurers would have to like reveal some secret truth or knowledge about who's resting here. It's not just about like overcoming a physical thing. They have to come prepared with some sort of like, some sort of personal or like piece of information or history about this thing, about this individual buried here that would be very hard to come by.
Like only the heirs can open the door.
Yeah.
Now,
something
very
like that.
importantly, though, the
Uh-huh.
big thing for us to think about, as opposed to the mechanics of the dungeon, specifically, we're making the map. So layout,
Okay.
rooms, passageways,
Yeah.
tunnels. So
Yeah.
we have the gateway, and we have the main chamber and the antechamber. What would the gateway have led into?
You know,
I feel like it's
what feels weird and fun is like 3 different hallways that would eventually lead to the main room.
Okay.
But I don't know why, like the feeling of like having to pick your path
Yeah.
when you get into that, right after that gateway.
Well, if this is the center and the most important part of it, it makes sense that multiple rooms funnel into this central
Almost-
point. I like that.
I mean, it'd be like the hallways are like a maze-like thing too, to get you confused as where you end up.
Yeah.
So that way it's harder to get out.
All right, so maze-like tunnels. I've got a main gateway here, or a main room right beyond the door. We're going to have a tunnel come off from each of the ends.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose straight, left, or right.
I guess another thing to think about as we're thinking of other rooms and other purposes they might have is before we were trapped in here with our since deceased god emperor or whatever, this monarch figure is, was this the place that our society was housed, or was it built with the special purpose of being a tomb?
Oh, like is the whole structure a tomb or is that
Right.
dual purpose?
Right. Did we live here? Is there a feasting hall, or is it simply a ritualistic holy place?
I mean, honestly, even if it is just ritualistic or real, depending on what they're thinking, like you could have a feasting hall for the undead, like, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say those places could still exist within it, even if it's just for.
I also imagine if we are here to guard this place, I mean, we probably weren't dead when it was sealed up originally, or when we started this protection duty. So we'd need a place to
One
eat.
would assume.
Or, you do the macabre and the little,
That's also a
which is what they
possibility.
actually
In that
did
case,
in
we need
Egypt.
Yeah.
a sacrificial chamber.
Well, it wasn't.
Sacrifice, dining hall. So we have 3 passageways leading from the main room. These are 2 options.
Living quarters again would be the next.
Yeah.
But if people did live down here,
Food, shelter, religion.
or it could also be to confuse people, to make it feel like it wouldn't be a tomb and
So
make it
that's
feel like it was
The
something
big
else.
question is this a tomb or is this a home? It sounds as though to keep you on your path, it's already been decided that this is a sarcophagus room with a place of riches that was sealed off.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a society to me.
No, it doesn't.
No.
So keeping in line with this idea of it being a tomb, what might be some rooms? And in the main chamber, you wanted to confuse them by giving them a choice of where they could go. What would be 3 different consequences of your choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could end up at almost like a fake dais, like where you would think, like as you said, sacrifices or like prayers or something could possibly end up.
Because it's even possible that these things existed as they were burying this person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been built on their order probably
Yeah.
while they were still alive. I really like the vibe of a ritual chamber.
Yeah, so maybe the center one is a ritual chamber, just thinking of it as a good place to put a ritual chamber.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm also anywhere, and this is just an image that keeps coming to mind. It can exist in any of these chambers. Is some sort of like endless well.
Yeah, I keep seeing like something that's like
It's just-
almost up on a thing that no matter how much water you pull out of it,
Yeah.
it feels like it's still.
Yeah.
That's dope. Well, I know, at least I have a question on my thing that says, answer this as you create the map together.
Okay.
So I don't know if all of us have that.
I
one
do
as
as
well,
well.
Yeah. So this might help answer some of these questions of like what these are for.
Yeah, if you have those, now would be a good time to start bringing those up. So
Yeah.
we'll start with Ben.
So mine says, what subtle things in this place speak to a purpose far, far beyond honoring the noble dead? So I do think some sort of occult thing would be good.
Subtle
So maybe the ritual
Julian,
room.
have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us today.
So maybe the ritualistic room has like inscriptions or something along the outside that is like the holy text of this person or the last words of this person.
Their final decree
Yeah,
upon death.
Or a curse that's placed upon anybody that enters.
Oh, I like that.
which
Sick.
maybe that was the last words of this person.
Also, the more we talk about it, the more I'm liking this occult angle rather than like a monarch. This is a cult leader,
Ooh,
maybe with a small devout group of followers rather than a big society.
the
behind
God
it.
King cult
Yeah, God
leader.
King.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also love I just aesthetically, when I think about like occult tombs, I think of like how are the sconces shaped? Are they how's the lighting in here? Like, because that's the perfect
dim
place
is
to
it?
stick like just those cool little details. So like,
do we have a room with an ever-burning flame?
I
If we
know,
have a
right?
well that's like
Do we
endless.
have eyeballs anymore?
Well, I think
So,
we're all bone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the ritual chamber, and then side chamber is the well, and then the other side chamber is a flame that doesn't die.
Ooh, that's
And so
cool.
you have the
Yeah.
3 things, and
Yeah,
together
yeah.
they all are like symbolic for this one cult.
cool.
Endless fire, endless water, endless life.
Sick.
Okay.
Maybe that's what's on the thing. But in
The key
like
to
a very old script.
Like the key to
It's all coming
immortality.
together.
So, for our players,
Spooky.
School.
oh sweet. We have our main chamber. We've got the endless well, which I have added has flooded one of the tunnel leading to it.
Oh, smart, like little
sweet.
hazards.
We have
Twist.
the scripture room that has the writing is all over the walls, and we have the endless flame room. Now, those will not quite get us to the chamber itself.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a good idea. Jeff, suggestion: what if we put everyone in a cool hat?
What about a damp hat? I have a map.
I'm going to throw a little Easter egg in here of if you dive into the endless well,
Oh.
it actually takes you straight to the sarcophagus room.
Oh, I like
Like a
that.
secret passage.
Well, it's you won't know, but if you just keep going and
You
trust
get there.
that you will go somewhere.
You trust that your breath will not fail you by the time you get there.
Yeah,
So it's a trust exercise.
that's so cool.
Is that then the only way to access it?
I think each one maybe has
something.
some
Some
sort of
requirement.
requirement.
I think a variation of the scripture is written and etched along the walls of the well chamber to monitor the people who descend. And once like a certain devotion threshold is met, I don't know. This is also pure mechanics. That seemed really cool.
Yeah.
Then that's how the magic works. So
I have another map one that involves like location of stuff.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Who are interred in the 7 niches along the southern wall?
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, wait, southern wall. So
So like they're
closer to the entrance?
The acolytes of our cult
Yeah.
leader.
So what if it's yeah.
So maybe
And that's in the tomb.
7.
is it in the tomb
in,
room?
in the
Just-
sarcophagus room, or just anywhere?
It says just along the southern wall. It could
So,
be the southern wall in the
in
main.
the hallway on the southern on this map it looks southeast.
Sure.
But for our compass it will be southern. The hallway leading to the eternal flame has 7 alcoves into it now,
Okay.
in which bodies are entombed. Who are they? And this is a question you get to answer.
Okay. I think that they are kind of along the idea of the acolytes. I think that they are 7 like notable figures within their religion, but none of which have died a natural death.
Oh, dang.
But they have all died for the reason of this religion and are like almost what powers the magic that keeps the whole place going.
The 7 saviors.
Yeah.
They're the ones keeping that eternal flame burning, their sacrifice. I
Yeah.
like that.
All right.
Cool. Wow. Nice. I too have a potentially relevant map question.
Yes. Now, really quick, since they're in the eternal flame hallway, it's the 7 of them. For narrative purposes, I like to pose to the group that they're referred to as the Wicks.
I love
Oh, I
Sick.
like that.
Without them, the flame would not burn.
And their sacrifice is what made it burn in the first place.
Something coming in from the chat. I know in pyramids there are very thin passageways to crawl through. Can there be side passages that one must crawl into that feel like you found the right way, but leads to the room directly below the sarcophagus room?
What
like
kind of
that.
horror should befall somebody who goes to the room below this sarcophagus?
Nothing great.
No, it can't be good.
What are the little bugs?
Scarabs.
Oh,
Scarabs.
That scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying. Still scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wonder if it's just almost like a quiet, dark room
And the door is closed behind you, and you're stuck in pitch black.
with just you and your
Just your
thoughts.
Well, and
Oh,
if,
that
if
is
it's
more terrifying. than
really like
scares.
such a narrow passage that you're full on spelunking, like cramming your body through it. Maybe you get in that room and then you
You
can't,
can't get back
out.
out. Like almost like spikes or
Yeah.
something that keep you going that way,
Yeah.
or a funnel.
I have an idea for it, but it comes here in a moment. It'll come here in a bit. But I have added that. Currently, it's got 2 crawl spaces from the written room. It goes below the sarcophagus room, and I'm also going to put a couple of walkways, not walkways, but more air vents into the
Sure.
treasure room.
Sure.
Oh.
So whatever is in the room under the sarcophagus room also has access to
The surface.
If they
the
can
treasure
find
room.
it.
Oh, okay.
You had a question to answer.
Yeah, so my map question is, what does the intricate mosaic that covers the floor depict?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I have a pitch for this one.
I love mosaics.
in the ritual chamber.
Okay.
And like I have an idea for this. It would involve our character, so I am gonna throw it to everybody, make sure everybody's okay with this. But what if the wicks sacrifice themselves to light the eternal flame? What if the 4 of us sacrificed ourselves to inter our God Emperor, or to help him ascend to whatever comes after?
I think you can answer this for yourself, but you wouldn't be able to say all of the characters did that.
Okay.
So if you want this to be a potential for yourself, because there are more questions that we'll be answering down the way that bring out why you're here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But what does it depict?
So yeah, so my pitch would be, regardless of if it's us or someone else, my pitch would be, it is a mural across the entire floor of the chamber depicting the steps. So the writing on the wall, the inscriptions, that's the actual, like, the curse, the words that bind this magic. This is the illustration, the picture book instruction of how we actually achieved it. And then the tie-in, because I believe, do we still need an access from this room to the ritual chamber?
At the moment, we have the ritual chamber. It has an access to the treasure room, which has an access to the sarcophagus. The well has multiple accesses to the sarcophagus room, which has access to the treasure room. The eternal flame, we have a room that it leads to, which will eventually lead to the sarcophagus room, or anywhere else should we want.
Maybe the ritual room doesn't have access because it's kind of like the obvious way
It's
to
the
be like,
obvious
I'm gonna
choice.
go to this thing.
I just a pitch.
Yeah.
I'm not like married to this, but if somebody were to sacrifice themselves in this room, perhaps it opens a door, and
Ooh.
perhaps that door is part of the mural, and
Yeah.
it shows, some members of the society sacrificing themselves. It opened a door for our God Emperor to go to the afterlife. But,
What if the door takes you out of here?
oh, that's good too, actually.
That sacrifice takes you out.
Oh, completely out.
Takes you to almost like another plane.
Well, that gets into world building.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm saying
So let's remember, we want to
Yeah.
keep this simple. Is
Yeah.
the big thing.
So my mural is depictions of sacrifice, depictions of some kind of ascension as a result.
All right, and that's in the ritual chamber.
Yeah.
So I'm going to replace the drawing that I had in there to instead have
And of course, everybody's choice is their own, but I would like to have been one of the original sacrifices.
replaced now with a drawing of an ascension.
Cool. Great.
Do we have any other questions for map making?
I mean, we kind of already touched on this, but mine reads, what amazing treasure lies well hidden in the tomb and where and how? Know your answer on the map. So, kind of already touched that this was an immense amount of wealth accrued, over a lifetime or in a short amount of time. We can decide on that. Where did this treasure come from? Was it local, meaning like it was given or negotiated, like purchased, or was it stolen from afar?
Or is it the treasure of those that have sacrificed themselves? Or of those
Like
that
tribute?
have tributed, brought tributes?
When
Yeah, I like
when
that
you
idea. Tribute.
join our cult, you give up all your possessions to the
Mhm.
organization.
Yeah.
Cool. So the treasure room is not only what belonged to our potential leader, but also a disparate amalgamation or a disparate collection of whatever people who
Yeah.
who joined this cult gave up.
Yeah.
Felt it was worthy of joining.
Yeah. In life or in death.
Yeah, exactly. So
Give up
it could be a
everything
thimble,
to join
but it
it.
also could be a freaking badass sword or plate of armor.
So with that, we do have one more room, unless we want it to, from the Eternal Flame room, leading into the sarcophagus room. At the moment, I've added in, because we discussed a trap room earlier, the Eternal Well with the flooded room leads to a trap room. The Eternal Flame room with the 7 wicks ahead of it leads into...
Maybe that's the room of darkness. So you have this like bright light from the eternal flame, and then you're thrust into complete darkness, and then you just have to trust your senses.
That you'll make it through.
Yeah.
Is it
Your eyes can be deceiving, so use everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I've added in a room of pure darkness.
I like that.
And I think
okay?
that will be our map, just to show you all. Here's what we're looking at.
Oh, that's so cool.
We have the sacrificial room with the 2 narrow slits that lead to the underground. Snake pit was mentioned in the chat, though I don't think necessarily an actual snake pit a representation, with the 2
Just snake
sections
bones now.
leading up to the treasure room, the main gate room leading to the hallway of the 7 wicks, the eternal flame, the dark room, trap room, the flooded room, and the passage to the sarcophagus room.
Maybe this is just out of pure logistics, but
Yeah.
like maybe the snake pit was built in anticipation of word spreading and
Like a false room.
not a false room, but like the thought of like, oh, we better build extra storage in case this room gets too full.
Oh,
And
Oh,
that's
it's like
why-
just storage?
Yeah,
the treasure
Gotcha.
overflow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why and maybe there is an access ladder like between the 2.
That would make sense why there's...
Or one that has broken
Yeah,
off.
because like
with
if I
age.
understand your pop out there, Scott, the snake pit is directly underneath the treasure room.
sarcophagus room.
The sarcophagus room, yeah. So,
Yeah.
So the next thing that we get to do is place where your characters live in this dungeon. So this is the one I actually had a suggestion for you as the horror.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could live in the pit beneath the sarcophagus room.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Put me in the pit.
That's amazing.
Even more horrific to get trapped in there now.
Yeah. I'm not pleasant.
oh, we have to place ourselves.
Mm-hmm. All right, the horror is in the bottom, in the pit. Where might the rest of you live?
I think I'm guarding the sarcophagus. Or one of them guarding the sarcophagus.
All right. I am going to put, similar to the 7 wicks, a place where the tattered cloak rests as a guard. There's a mirrored one next to you. It is likely empty, unless someone else wants to be there.
I'd love to be in the well room. Even though I drew my shield wrong, it says a round shield is covered with arrows. I'd like to think that upon death, magically my shield perfectly seals the lid to the well so that
wow.
it cannot get to the sarcophagus.
That's cool.
Dope.
And that's why it's covered in arrows.
Sweet.
All right.
And that leaves me exactly where I wanted to be, which is in the ritual chamber.
All right.
Sick.
And you are the crawler?
The crawler. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, with that, this is a cooperative game, all about storytelling, and we are using to reveal your character's pasts and future. Sometimes something is going to happen to a single skeleton. The actions of intruders require similar cooperation. Like, we work together to build this map. There's no dice rolling for when an intruder shows up. There's no fighting it. You will defeat it the first time and the second time. It is purely a discussion on how that happens. We're building a collaborative story together. Each of you is going to have a different responsibility for the group for each one of these events, depending on what shows up. It may be that one of these times your skeleton may just be eerily still during an encounter. Typically, at this point, we would turn off the lights, sit in silence, and feel time pass. Every time an age passes, you are meant to sit in the darkness for 10 seconds, 15 seconds for the early one, a minute for the next one. Skeletor.
Perfect.
Thank you for the $25 tip.
Hey, thank
we
you.
are that much closer. We're $75 away
Amazing.
from our goal.
And we have added it to the horde.
Eventually, by the final age, you would sit in silence for, I believe, like 10 minutes. And literally feel time pass. It is an incredible experience to play this game like this. We will not be doing that tonight for your sanity.
10 minutes of dead air.
Yeah. If you want us to finish skeletons, donate. Now, to play the game, when an intruder violates the tomb, you will spring into action. You are cursed to defend the tomb against all comers with as much ferocity as you can muster, forever. It is the only time that you can move, think, and feel. Everything else is darkness. During an encounter, you can communicate with each other telepathically, discussing matters, making plans, and otherwise exhibiting a limited form of agency. You must always act to remove the threats of the tomb and are incapable of any actions that contravenes this goal. You can be clever, remaining still to orchestrate an ambush, for example, but you cannot ignore or aid an intruder at any time.
Okay.
When an intruder is present, you may also remember bits of your past. That's what these questions are for. Your minds are your own for the duration of the encounter, provided that you're busy removing the threats. Once the threat is removed, we immediately return to our watch posts and are still. When it's time for our first encounter, which is now, we're going to choose. The Unsealed Tomb. If I may have Carrie roll a d6 for me.
2.
An amateur robber appears in the tomb. He's inexperienced and has heard that there's wonderful riches to be had here and barely makes it in, much less finding the place. He is not well prepared. The backpack that he has carries with it a couple of tools better suited for more home repair than dungeon delving.
Oh boy.
And as he enters, he is frightened immediately. Who amongst you slays this tomb robber, and how do you do it?
I don't think that I slay him, but I do think that I'm the honeypot because I have jewels on my body, and so I'm the bait.
I don't look particularly imposing. Hunched over, I scuttle around on all fours. Underneath a tattered cloak, my limbs, no rhyme or reason how they move, but aside from the knife I carry in my teeth, I don't look particularly dangerous. In fact, I look like I might tend to this ritual chamber. Perhaps I usher him in and get him down the tunnels for you.
I will do a murder.
I'm better at being
I will do a murder.
Sharp claws and a sharp beak.
A question to you. Now, at this point, I am mostly a facilitator.
Oh.
This terribly frightened tomb raider, how might you be able to usher him in?
It's an excellent question. You see, I have a hood as part of this tattered cloak, and I can fold myself up inside the cloak, and if I stick to the edges of the room, perhaps in the shadow, he won't realize what exactly I am. I will assuage his fear and beckon him in. You found the right place, adventurer. The riches you seek are just through the door. In fact, I've swept it for danger.
What do you think? Is this all of us coming up with a plan?
Yeah. I mean, and if you're sealing the well,
I don't think it makes it to me.
you're like, you got this, besties.
I think, should he be fool enough to make it through the knee-high depths of the overflowing well, I would lead him to what would be thought of as a reprieve to his adventures, when really the well is poisoned with muck and mold and mildew over the years, and, oh boy, he best take a rest someplace nice and dark until his aches and pains and belly nausea subsides, I think. Lure him into a false sense of security.
In fact, maybe it's his choice then. If he's afraid of the dark, well, we have a room full of light. And if he's thirsty, well, there's a well as well. Seems like a reasonable plan. Depends on if he's a reasonable adventurer.
Multiple ways to die.
Fear.
He's inexperienced, so I doubt he'll go very far.
There's no way he gets to me. Not with you in the way. I'm
Lead
the
him
last
to me.
resort.
Yeah. Bring it on. And as to how I murder him, I think when I'm splayed out, I look a little bit like a bunch of animal bones that don't look quite put together. And then they get close, my back legs and my front legs just spring like a bear trap.
Nice.
All right. So, enticing in this creature, and you attempt to speak, but there is more of just a being nothing but bones, no sounds come out. That the hooded figure gesturing in a direction. You don't know if it's out of fright of running away or more of turntailing,
Nor
running.
do I care.
But either way, the direction that you indicate is the direction that he goes. And he heads deeper into the sacrificial room from the entranceway, shuffles his way down one of the narrow passages looking for a way through or out, coming into the small pit in the bottom, finding that collection of bones.
With jewels, I will say.
Bones and jewels.
Yes.
In the eyes that you do not have, you see he thinks for a moment that he has indeed found his goal as your bones suddenly coalesce and pierce him like a small pincushion.
Oh.
Though dead and without organs, you still devour him.
I do. I do devour it.
I need everybody to answer one of the questions on your sheet. The killer or killers, if you deem that that was a joint that you both killed it, or if you believe that you were the only one that killed, I'd let that be a choice up to you.
Pretty sure the court of law would.
I'm an
Are-
accomplice.
Able to answer 2 questions.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know if I did enough to earn 2.
Well, I rolled the die, so I will do that one. And
Actually, would you hand me the extra?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you may pick whichever you of the answers you want, or you may roll the die if you want it to be at random.
Question: if it says note the answer on the map, should I tell you?
Absolutely. All these questions are to be answered out loud.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you're willing to share the credit, there are 2 questions that pair quite nicely.
I don't think that he'd come for me without you aiding him. So,
All right.
again, you're an accomplice now.
Perfect.
So who would like to answer a question first?
I mean, I've got mine. The first one I'll answer is, who here among the skeletons once treated me with kindness? And frankly, very recently I did have a friend bring me a new meal. So, you are my new friend, and you treated me with kindness and a full belly. It wasn't my belly, but it was full. And the other question is, who or what brought me into the world? And I believe I sprung from the nightmares of the God King.
Amazing.
I am dressed similar to the God King, with a crown and jewels. And I think I was some omen that became real.
Okay.
Yes.
That explains everything about you.
I don't look good.
Thank you, Luck.
You've done me another kindness, thank you.
Yes. I know my place. One of you want to go? Or?
Well, it's been such a long time since these old bones of mine have moved even an inch in this tomb, but new life in the chamber brings new information and new memories to me, and I've remembered my name. Benthin Forganall, I was called in life.
Olgnol?
Forganall.
Forganal. Forgenal.
Listen, I'm just gonna put that down.
Don't have eyes or opposable thumbs anymore, so Bendin will suffice.
But yeah, that sounds.
I did love my name in my youth. I said it many times aloud for everyone to hear.
Well, Benton, I'd love to hear the story about all those arrows at some point.
The one in my knee was the worst.
Sounds painful.
2 more questions available.
Sure. What area within this place are you forbidden to set foot in? I I'm forbidden to go into the sacrificial chamber or the room with all the writing.
Okay.
Something about it scares me to the bone.
Interesting. I thought you were just rude at turning down my invitations all these times.
Oh, no. At least I don't think it's you.
Tattered Cloak cannot go to the sacrificial chamber.
So I'm gonna answer two, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
First is, why did I spend my life on all fours, loping like an animal? And the answer is, I wasn't always like that, but I was one of the first and most devoted servants to our God King, and as such, always kept my head below his. Over the years, it turned into a hunch, and then it just became easier to lope about like this.
Nice.
And the other question, whom did I once love? Well, the only thing I've ever loved, our beloved God King.
Mm.
Love it.
Ooh, I would do anything for love.
Including give my life.
Having killed this unexperienced tomb robber, you return to your areas, and a decade goes by. Josh, glory fades, or God's laugh.
Oh, what? I certainly think our God is laughing at that poor soul.
A memory that one of the skeletons previously had slips away and is lost forever. What memory? This is your choice.
Only one of us, or all of us?
Only one. A memory that a skeleton had previously regained.
Oh.
I think only one memory has popped back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my name, right? Yeah.
And that arrow in your knee?
In the 10 years that go by, you can no longer remember your name.
But you just got it.
Arise and protect the tomb, skeleton guardians. A spirit that was disturbed by a newly built tomb has entered. How do you drive away an ancient and immaterial presence?
How dare they?
They really let anyone in?
Oh, boy.
How did it get in?
So I say
It's a spirit.
we have so many protections to stop things from coming in. Did we forget about the spiritual?
Perhaps they're after the door.
Or they're after the God King?
Or is there something in the text that we did not decipher before that brought the spirit here?
What could we have done to anger?
Oh boy.
How do you kill a spirit?
I think we just drive it away.
Yeah.
Something tells me it won't be as easy to convince as that last snack.
long lost lore coming in and raiding with a party of 10.
Ooh.
Hello! Welcome on in, everyone. Welcome to the Adventurers Pack. We are a bunch of nerds sharing what we love on the internet. Today, we're doing a very special stream. We're doing a fundraising stream, trying to raise the funds to get the gear that is going to help our first narrative campaign be as pristine as possible. We've launched through our first goal of $500 to get some new microphones. Currently, we are $75 away from a new video card that will allow us to move from Logitech USB cameras into HDMI cameras. We have been playing games all day. We started at 11 a.m. Currently we're playing some Skeletons. If you are unfamiliar with this, it is a storytelling...
They can see that screen.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It is a storytelling game that where you are not the adventurers diving into a tomb. You are the skeletons protecting the tomb. It's a whole lot of fun. Gallanorian Saber, welcome on in. Sophia Distracted, hello. Tiger Piggy, great to see you. Yarny, hi-yo to you as well.
Hi-yo.
Long Lost Lore, thank you so very much for bringing your community on over to us. Please give us a shout out, or give yourself a shout out in the chat. Let us know what you were up to. If you want to hang out and be a part of this story, it's a whole lot of fun. We have almost 6 hours left to our stream. We've been going strong. Every $2 donated to our stream adds another minute to the clock. We have the potential of going for a full 24 hours. So, again, thank you so much for being here. You are all amazing. My goodness gracious, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the follow, Gallanorian Saber. Thank you for that follow.
Nice.
Welcome to the Adventures Pack. So happy that you're here. So, our skeletons have had an unrested spirit join in and disturb their place of rest. And they're trying to decide how they deal with this. A reminder, it is guaranteed that you will deal with this.
Yeah.
The question is just how.
What if we...
They must be after something in the treasure vault. Maybe there's something in there that we can use to drive them away. Some ancient artifact we've forgotten about a long, long time ago. Search the hoard. High and low, we must find something.
I was going to say, let it come back here and maybe I can talk to it. Or telepathic to it and see if there's anything that I can give it to get it to go away.
Either that or your sword.
My sword is my own.
I mean, you could kill it with your sword.
I don't know if I can kill a spirit.
Oh,
with
you're
my
no
sword.
fun.
But I do think I could drive one away.
Okay, well, that is the goal.
Yes, matter definitely best left to the likes of you. I'm afraid I will not be much help here. I will attend to the door and make sure if indeed that is what it's interested in. Well,
I will drive the spirit towards our cloaked friend and let them entreat with it.
yes.
I will stand in front of the sarcophagus, our king, who I always have vowed to protect, holding out my sword, and upon it entering, will offer to give up myself in exchange for it leaving.
Are you sacrificing yourself, friend?
I've already done it once.
Sounds like fun. Maybe you are fun after all.
How bad could it be?
Shouldn't be too bad. Maybe I'll just go flying off in a different way.
Attempting to exchange yourself to this spirit. And is this you wishing to completely offer and... All right. The spirit is driven to the sarcophagus room where you lie waiting. And though, again, unable to speak with the telepathic bond to the undead, you are able to get across that communication. And in so offering yourself, you open all that is left of your body. spirit taking hold of it. And now, as if a passenger in the vessel that was your body, still conscious, but no longer in control. This newfound body, the spirit heads towards the front gate, clambers over the opening that was originally left by the dungeon delver and had crumbled away over the years. And you leave out into the world.
Ready for adventure. This is the last thing you hear.
Its glory fades. The magic compelling one of the skeletons to service, but not its undead energy, has faded. And you leave.
Is there any time before we return to the slumber I'd like to say some words for a
You have a
friend?
telepathic connection until they leave the temple itself. Also, as that's happening, I'm going to pull this up really quick so I can say thank you to whoever just donated.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
If that magnificent sword was left behind when the spirit took our friend away, I would like to just very humbly raise it above my head and place it on the tomb it once protected, on the sarcophagus.
Sick.
A beautiful gesture for the service that they rendered to our fallen god king.
And perhaps they still protect us in their absence.
Aye.
I don't know if this was done anonymously or not. I know you're in the chat. So if you're in the chat, say it was you and I'll give you a thank you. If it was anonymous, then I won't. Whatever. I'll just
I might be able to
assume it was another Skeletor. Oh yeah, Jeff, thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you, buddy.
thank you, Jeff.
So, with this, every one of you gets to answer another question.
Roll randomly. Reroll on one.
Oh, I guess I should.
Actually, let's have you answer your one question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Caleb Love. Thank you so much for that $50 tip.
Thank you.
Putting us at our goal.
Holy moly!
Holy shit!
What the hell?
What?
Pierce Lakes. Thank you for that $100 tip.
Well, hey, Pierce, thank you.
Putting us almost halfway to our next goal, to be
Oh
honest.
my God, yes.
Wow.
Amazing.
Secrets in a row.
Wow.
These aren't secrets about the
Wow.
team. These are secrets about the campaign.
These are real secrets.
Holy shit. All right, we're gonna do these questions really quick. Actually, tell you what, we're gonna do one question. No, wait, we'll do these very quick. But then we'll give some thank yous and stuff.
All right, sorry.
No, please.
I don't know if that one works for me.
It's all good.
It says, what connection do you have to those you just drove away? Would that count?
Oh, I think you have a very deep connection.
Yeah.
Which you just drove away.
It you.
And what memory did that invoke? And I think upon seeing the ghost, the spirit, it was the spirit of my sister. And the only thing who had died prior to me, and I died in order to try to be with them in afterlife as well. And seeing them come back, I knew the only way to be with them was to give them my body as well.
Owie.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So, happy ending?
The last thing I said was off on an adventure.
That's so sweet.
And with that, we're gonna bid farewell to Carrie. Carrie, thank you so much for
Thanks,
joining us tonight.
Carrie.
It's been a lot of fun getting to Jackbox with you,
Thank you, everybody.
getting to do this with you. Have a good adventure.
What a great way to write yourself out of this.
Seriously.
So
No, that was
cool.
perfect. That was so well done.
I was like, how do I
Owie.
get out of here so I
Smooth.
can go to bed so I can wake up in 6 hours?
I wish I could leave every party that way.
I sacrifice
Screw
myself.
the Irish goodbye. This is the I'm
Yeah.
dead goodbye.
Okay,
Carrie,
good night,
have a great
everybody.
night.
Have
Night, Carrie.
fun. Yeah, and hopefully it makes it 24 hours.
Right?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Try not to wake you up when I get home in the middle of the night.
I really appreciate that.
Let me do so. While more questions are being answered,
Yeah.
I'm going to do the calculation for how much time has been added.
Great. Well, mine is a little simple. But what by name did you earn in life that describes the fear your existence evoked? And I believe I was simply called the Nightmare King.
Some time has gone by, but it seems I have forgotten what I was called by those closest to me.
I believe it was Brendan. Brandon Frumple
It seems...
slipped my mind as well.
Oh, no. But I do recall the by name that I held in life. Tied to my greatest accomplishment. Sorry, my jaw is not as functioning as it used to be. I was known as the Gut Wrencher.
I like it.
In hosting many parties, I would challenge folks to drinking contests and lose quite often,
Oh,
thus wrenching my guts on the
it's not
floor.
like you were killing people and taking out their
No,
guts.
no, I was quite an embarrassing person to be partying
Well.
with.
One can dream.
Well, I will spare both of you my by name, for it's not nearly as badass as yours. Instead, I will answer the question, what thing in this place do I revile? And why? And, well, to be quite honest with you, as grateful as I am for everyone donating the funds that we need to complete the campaign, I revile the treasure of the Horde.
Oh.
For nothing could be assigned the value of the devotion I've shown our master, that we've all shown our master. We gave our lives. No treasure is worth that.
I guess you're right.
Zanite, have a great day.
Good
Thank you
night.
so very much for
Good
being
day.
here. It means the world to us. All right. With that, we already have done Glory Fades. It's the energy.
Right.
However,
Oh, jeez. Well.
a month passes between the next, and we have moved away from the unsealed tomb to a time of dust, which we'll have to deal with new intruders. However, we are going to take a moment to pause this music.
Please. It's scary.
Chat, could you do me a favor and roll a d4 for? Oh wait, no, we can't do that. Roll roll secrets for me.
Roll for secrets. Emmy, aren't you supposed to be asleep?
Annabelle coming up with a 7.
Ooh, 7's lucky.
Look, number 7.
All right.
Oh.
What's happening?
What's the smirk for?
What's happening?
I know.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Whatever
hide that monitor really quick, so that no one can see secrets over here.
You can only see the secrets we allow you to see. But we love you. All the same.
Ooh, oh boy. So, oh my god. Well, we'll get this in a second. Another cast member that we get to announce. Very happy to say, Benjamin Crudwig.
Oh my god, is it me?
Will be joining us for campaign 1.
Oh my god!
We have a fantastic character lined up. You've loved him as Fion. You've lusted after him as Leos.
Yep.
Cool stuff. Who doesn't?
Campaign 1, we're gonna see what sort of feels you have for them. Ben, really quick, I want to check in. Where did you send me the
Slack. I DM'd you on Slack.
DM me on Slack. Perfect.
Because we have like 4 different ways to message each other right now.
It's not confusing at all.
Slack, I think of
It
as
was
like
the message right below that, I think.
the red phone, the one that connects directly to the president, right?
Yeah.
If like it's urgent, it comes on Slack.
Oh, I didn't link it though.
It's all good.
Sorry.
I can pull it up on YouTube.
I wasn't that nice. I wasn't like Josh over here.
I'm not gonna lie, I panicked when Scott asked for a song, and I was like, I don't even know any songs that would fit.
I
And then
know.
like suddenly I had a list of like 12 appropriate
Nice.
options. So
So really quick, before we do this, I do want to check in, let's see here. And yes, Emmy, you are indeed going to be playing some Cult. If I did my maths correctly, yeah, we've got 7 more hours to the stream. So this stream is going to be going until 5 a.m.
Holy moly.
yes,
Good times.
Ooh,
Good
6
times.
hours away from 24.
Yeah.
One of the things that I am very excited for to have Ben joining the campaign. The only time that I've really gotten to be a DM for you has been the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a couple of one-shots, but really haven't had the time to like dig into the meat of just a really great character. You're bringing such a great character to this campaign. I cannot wait to see what happens to them. I cannot wait to see what happens with them.
Yeah.
And I honestly can't wait to truly be a DM with you. So it's gonna be
Feelings
great.
mutual.
And I can say it now. I can't wait to meet your character.
I know.
And we played the Gauntlet together, but
That's basically it. I mean, besides that campaign, that was short-lived.
that was
So,
yeah.
Not the same.
No, but it was online.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not the same.
By Simon and Garfunkel.
I've not heard it. It's beautiful.
It's from Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. That's the album.
Okay.
And it is stunning. Such a good song and totally my character's vibes.
Sick.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for sharing it.
So there we are. A big old thank you again to all of you. It's because of you that this is continuing to happen. And I have absolutely just been blown away by the generosity of everyone. Annabelle saying, Ben's playing a bird! Eric Cocker, confirmed.
Yeah.
Actually,
The bird. The bird is
the first, so over the pandemic, I got to play in a game
Yeah.
with Ben, which they did play in Aarakocra. And one
Sure
of the
did.
first things that I remember them doing was blowing up other birds.
Listen, it was an accident.
What was it? You mistook Thunder Wave?
For Thunderclap. One is a cantrip and one is a leveled spell.
Yep.
That seagull died.
They had a family.
But yeah, So good times. I also want to be very clear: none of the other players have ever heard any of these songs.
Yeah, I know this is all brand new.
And none of the other players have any idea what the other players are playing.
Nope.
So they're going to get to learn all this. It's going to be great.
I'm in the dark with all of you.
Yep.
So the next goal that we have, again, we're almost already halfway through it.
Amazing.
Would be great.
It's camera 1 of 3. We're upgrading to Sony Handycams. They're camcorders. They're going to let us shoot in much better HD than we're currently in.
We can actually zoom with them instead of just cropping.
We
massively
won't
cropping.
lose quality when punching in like this. So we'll be able to get a much clearer picture for everyone.
You'll be able to see the sweat on our forehead
Mhm.
as Scott runs
my
us through the dungeons of his own.
Each of these cameras is going to run $230. So we're already $100 towards the first of them.
Amazing.
Again, with each of these goals met, we're going to drop another another cast reveal along with a song from their playlist. And at the end, should we hit all of these, we're going to give you a date and time of Campaign 1, Episode 1.
Premiere.
So,
Help us with our press releases. Give us money.
Also, now that Cult of the Lamb is officially unlocked, I'm loving how this is kind of paralleling that.
That's
Maybe,
kind of cool.
Headcanon wise, Cult of the Lamb might be a prequel to how we all end up here.
Yeah.
oh boy.
Right.
So, jumping back into this. Now, coming into a time of dust with new invaders into the tomb. Ben,
Yes.
would you roll a d6 for me?
No bother. That's a 4.
A family seeking shelter
Well, crap.
finds their way into your tomb. Are they refugees? Are they monsters? You are unsure. Oh my goodness gracious. Mendari, coming in with a raiding party of 116 people.
Whoa, hey, everyone.
Mendari, thank you so very much for trusting us with your community. To all of you, hello and welcome. We are the Adventurers Pack. We are a bunch of nerds sharing what we love on the internet. Oh, thank you so much for that follow. Oh, I'm going to get this up so I can actually see.
Right now we
Arborist
love Raiders.
228.
I thought we hated you.
We are currently doing a fundraising stream. We are oh my gosh, I don't even know. We started at 11 a.m. with an 8-hour stream, and we still have 7 hours left to our 8-hour stream.
We are almost 11 hours in.
Wow. We are currently raising money to upgrade parts of our studio. We are getting ready for our first big narrative campaign, the thing that we have been working towards the entire time that the Adventurers Pack has been around. We're finally able to do it. With every goal that we reach, we are dropping secrets. We are dropping cast members. And cast member announcements. We're dropping cast members like flies. We're dropping cast announcements as well as sharing with you all songs from their playlist. We just have now reached a little over $1,000. Wow, we are on to our third goal. Right now, our goal is for a new camera, one of 3 cameras, $230. We are currently $100 into that goal, and during this time of the stream, we're playing a fantastic game called Skeletons. Skeletons is a story building game where you all play as the skeletons of the dungeon. You aren't the adventurers going into the dungeon. You are the creatures that protect the dungeon. And unfortunately, right now, a family has entered the dungeon. We're about to figure out what these creatures are going to do to it. Thank you so much for giving that shout out. Mendari, how was your stream? I hope that you had a grand old time. What were you up to? Looks like you were doing some Dungeons and Dragons as well.
Awesome.
Again, thank you so very much for joining us. If you are new here, welcome on in. Again, thank you for the follow. If you'd like to have more information about us, you can check out all of our socials. You can head on over to our Discord. And otherwise, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories that are unfolding. Quick question. Have you played Adventure Skeletons? It's a one-page RPG that has a similar concept.
Oh,
Okay.
I have not.
Sounds cool.
Sounds like a whole
They're
lot
just
of fun.
regular skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right now we have a crawler, a skeleton that shambles around on all fours. We have a horror creature that has been birthed, as we have discovered, of the mind of their god. And we have a skeleton carrying an arrow-covered shield that is the cover to an endless well in the tomb. This is the tomb here. There we go. That we've created together. Let's see here. You were designing... Oh my goodness gracious.
What is happening?
Things.
Airburst228, thank you so much for gifting 5 subs to our community.
Hey, thank you.
Figadis, MW Reaper X, and Aaron Sutherland, Sir Patty of Nerdington, and Bearded Fortress. Thank you. Enjoy those subs. If you are a new subscriber, head on over to our Discord. You get some excellent perks like maps that have been made here on the show, access to a sub-only chat. We do some behind-the-scenes stuff there. It's a grand old time. Mendar, you were designing some poison recipes with a friend
cool.
and then acting as emotional support streamer for some folks who came in off of a TPK.
Oh.
Good for you for providing a safe space for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That is definitely some, we appreciate you being there to help lift up the spirits of those who just became spirits.
And a trigger warning for any of you still around. Us skeletons here might be the cause of a TPK
Yes.
in this next
Yeah,
little
we
instance.
are
here,
skeletons.
This is kind of a darker evening that we are taking with this.
It is our sworn duty.
But yes, with the time that is remaining, actually here, let me pull up our schedule here. Shortly after this, there we are. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic, y'all. Shortly after this, we are going to be playing some Pitch Storm. It's a fantastic improv game that we're going to be playing in person here. And after that, we have raised enough money. Every $2 donated to the stream adds a minute to the stream, which is why we've been going for so long. Our cast member who is currently taking a nap to prepare for this, well, actually they're in the chat right now, so go to sleep. We'll be playing some Cult of the Lamb after that. And if we do raise enough to get into the wee hours of the morning, I will be back to play some Baldur's Gate 3. Which I have been informed that maybe I should have downloaded it before.
You might, you might have.
So
wanted to,
it may end up being a you watch me download a game while we talk.
the riveting content. You
Have your
follow.
coffee while you download the game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, people will just be waking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, Mandari, please go get some rest. Take care of yourself. Self-care is important, because without self-care, you can't be there to care for those who need you. Thank you again so very much for trusting us with your community. I hope the rest of your totally no longer than 8-hour stream goes well. Thank you so much.
We promise to take better care of your community than we're about to show these. The family just stumbled into our tomb.
We hit our goal.
What goal?
Because was it the most recent goal, or was it if we hit our end goal?
Oh no, that
There's a
goal.
spicy chip.
The spicy chip is happening.
That's the end goal. That's a stretch
That's
goal.
the end goal.
That's
okay.
No, is it
No,
not?
I think it was. I
Oh, no.
thought we said it was the last goal. That's what Emmy and I said.
We've got a one-chip challenge that is waiting for us behind the camera.
Carolina Reaper. Mm-hmm.
And something Viper chili.
Uh-huh. It'll likely be a
Saga Viper?
half chip challenge because I'm not going to let Ben do this alone.
I think it's a third chip challenge. I think Emmy's doing
Emmy's
it with
doing
us.
it too? Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Just like it is, you have to never split the party. When all of you together, you don't have to deal with one chip yourself. You can each share in the chip.
When ingesting poison as a group, make sure everybody takes some instead of just one going down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You build up your immunity by divvying out small portions at a time.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Good luck, y'all.
But to be clear, it's after all of the equipment?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
No.
So with all of that, I'll ask that we focus back in.
Yes. There's a family.
As the family has entered into your dungeon,
Oh, bother.
you get to decide what kind of family this is.
Oh no, Scott.
Yeah. And yeah, you get to decide how they are defeated.
What's going on up there?
I creep in the corner of the ritual chamber as I get eyes, and I telepathically tell my comrades that some poor fools have thought they could find shelter here.
Do they look delicious?
They look meager.
What do they look like? Are they humans? Is it a family of creatures? These are all things you get to decide.
I have a dark pitch.
It doesn't matter to me. I will eat anything.
I cannot quite see through the glimmering water. What do you see?
It does appear to be a family. Some kind of humanoids, although it's dark and I have no eyes. So,
Arborist, have a great night yourself. Thank you again for your generosity.
Thank you. I can only assume it's parents and I hear a young child.
Ooh.
And perhaps someone older with them as well. Perhaps a paternal figure, a patriarch. Not a large group.
Right.
Poor lost souls.
Now, this could go one of two ways.
Sure.
I think it might be hard to convince them, like we did that delicious adventure, to all come to you down the tunnels. I don't know if that trick would work again.
No, best meal I've had in a decade, though.
But perhaps... No, it's probably too much of a stretch.
What, do we scare them off or make them go further in and kill themselves on the traps?
Well, they'll realize soon enough there is nothing for them here. They seem to be in need of shelter. In fact, well, if they were to discover our artwork, they might see the only sanctuary. Here, anyway. Well, there's only one way through that door.
You're saying that one of them's gonna sacrifice themselves.
Or all. Or they'll realize there's no food here and hopefully leave.
Best start them in the Chamber of Darkness, then. Let them reach their own conclusions.
Yes, we can't help them. And you're saying I shouldn't eat them.
I mean, by all means, if
you
they
can have
do come
them.
to you, yes.
Should they find their way to you, but seeing as they are appearing somewhat hesitant to explore, they might not stumble down to your depths. You might have to seek an opportunity to pounce.
I mean, can you get out of that pit?
I think I can scramble up.
I suppose they don't have to come to you. If we can lure them into the dark, perhaps the two of you can, cut off their retreat.
That sounds like a bit of fun we've not had in a long time.
I do like...
Shall I meet you in the trap room or in the flooded room?
I shall emerge from the flooded room like a wet nightmare of stumbling, drunken monstrosity, and then we shall converge on them in a pounce.
So you come from the flooded room, I come from the other way.
Yes.
From the wicks.
Yes.
Great. Are we eating them or scaring them?
I shall scare them into your mouth.
I can only fit like one in my mouth.
I shall eat the others.
Which one looks the most delicious?
Definitely the father. The boy is... tiny.
Two slim pickings.
The elderly one, well, he's all skin and
Also
bones.
slim pickings.
Right.
All right, I'll go for the father.
Right. And the others you'll dispatch with...
Yes, it will be quick work after that.
All right.
They can't be running around in here.
To clarify, we're trying to get them into the dark room.
I think we're gonna do a pincer from... I'm coming from the fire... I'm coming around, you know,
Coming around.
from...
Bring this in so you all can
Yeah,
see
I'm
the
coming
map.
around
Yes,
from the
much
dark
easier.
room. I'm crawling up into the sarcophagus room, through the dark room, through the flame room, through the wick hallway to ambush them while our friend comes from the flooded room. Maybe you can come. Can you leave? Do you want to leave?
I'd rather not, but perhaps what I can do is...
Oh, very good.
And just, try to scare them.
Deter them from a third option.
Right, exactly.
Eliminate the possibility of escape.
With,
We either
with,
eat them or they leave.
with my hunched back and my cloak in the right lighting, I can look kind of like a bear. That's how a bear sounds, right?
I would like to skitter along the wall and up on the ceiling, and then drop down onto the father, the meatiest one.
So converging on them is your goal. Do you want them to run away, or do you want to kill them? Or a combination of the two?
I think it's a combination.
Because it is completely your choice. You do defeat these intruders, but it is up to you as to how.
We shall...
You take the old one.
Yes, I think that is most advantageous. Anybody who flees, we will not pursue them, but...
No.
Yes, but anyone who is foolish enough to stand up to me and my lovely bearded axe will be met with a swift end.
It is very nice.
Needs a bit of a cleaning. Blood should do the trick.
Dinner time.
Make quick work of them, and, well, hopefully the survivors will learn their lesson and spread the word so they don't come back and try again here.
All right.
So there are 3 of them.
I'm just going after the...
Well, but this is...
Oh.
It's not me telling you how it ends. You all decide exactly how this ends.
You said there's 3 of them?
That's what you had said.
I said 4 technically.
So we let-
young boy, a grandpa, and then the parents in between.
We let 2 of them go. Because I'm only hungry for one.
I will cut down the grandpa. You're going for the dad.
Yes.
So mom and child.
Okay.
That does seem the humane thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're human or not. Like I said, no eyes.
So,
Good point.
the small family huddling in the entrance to this tomb of which you protect. Drawing off from the rain outside,
That damp.
they hear the skittering of bones coming from the hallway of the wicks, and begin to hear the murmur and sudden howling coming from the sacrificial chamber as they stand, beginning to back in horror. One of the little children looks over and sees a bone-like creature almost serpentining down the wick hallway, disappearing into the ceiling, before suddenly dropping onto the father in front of them that was between them and the creature in the sacrificial room, and begin to be devoured. The grandfather, in a panic, grabs the kids and rushes down the hallway, but his hands aren't quite strong enough to hold on. The kids running to chase after him in the splash, splash, splash as he gets down the hallway. Suddenly, splash, splash. The kids stand frozen in fear as they just see the grandfather's body fall. They scream, run back to the main hallway, and flee out of the main entrance.
Be gone. It's important to learn those kinds of life lessons at a young age, right?
Yes.
Good work.
Everyone answers one question.
I got the inspiration for this question from the last one that I answered, so I'm ready whenever you are.
And here it says if someone kills the matriarch, but I will say if someone has killed the patriarch of the family,
Oh.
which would be the grandfather.
Okay.
Okay.
You may choose to answer 2. Each of you may choose to answer 2.
Okay.
Technically, it was our shielded friend. Can you please remind me your by name?
The gut wrencher.
I knew it was something badass. Yes.
Much better than your real name.
Wrencher. And now seeing you work, I understand.
What was my real name?
It was Benson.
Yes.
Oh, Folgers.
I hope you are right.
That sounds right. Yes.
Right.
Does anyone know the question that they want to answer?
Well. I'm ignoring that question.
I know
'cause
one. I have a
said
second
that
one.
one.
Yeah.
what thing in this place came into being alongside you? Choose from among those already introduced if you are able. Note your answer on the map. I think the writing on the walls came in with me, basically.
Whoa.
Like, it said alongside you.
It said feature or which?
What thing in this place?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Alright.
and so I think
Whoa.
maybe the inscribing of the ritual called me forth from the nightmares of the king god king, and made me real. Like there was almost some sort of like transfer of energy. Maybe I am the god king. Wouldn't that be fun?
That kind of ties into one of my questions, if you don't mind, Josh.
I do have a
No,
pointy
please,
crown.
go ahead.
Who here among the skeletons did you once feel fiercely loyal toward, and why?
I believe in my youth I befriended the God King, and he told me one drunken night of this horrible dream he had, and, well, that sounded like a very intriguing character to meet. I believe I was once fiercely loyal to your potential, and coaxed our God King to bring you into the real world.
I am quite honored.
Well, a wise decision is turning out.
Have you seen my crown? It's very sharp.
Befitting.
Thank you.
Well, that does set up my question quite nicely as well, which is, in what way is our immortal curse, or particularly mine, also an awful blessing? And, let's not be so sacrilegious as to say you are the God King, but I do believe you are part of him. You are born from him.
Right.
I too feel a connection, a yearning to be whole. And when I am here with my beloved God King, I am whole. And although this is my immortal servitude, I can't imagine anywhere else I'd rather be. In fact, anywhere else would feel incomplete, and thus leave our beloved God King incomplete as well.
Tranquil Forest, thank you so very much for the follow. Welcome to the Adventurers Pack.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
I do have one more question I got to
Oh,
answer.
right.
What memento of your old life is still somehow rattling around with you?
Hanging by my side is my faithful drinking horn, from which I consumed many an ale and many a wine and many a fermented drink. My cup floweth over.
And so it does continue to.
Yeah.
Check the bottom. Is your name inscribed there? Oh wait,
Oh,
no
right.
eyes.
Right.
Now, you don't have to answer a second question, but you may if you wish. Just know that typically anytime you defeat anyone, you get to answer a question, so
Right.
there's no need to feel rushed.
We have more things to defeat.
More errors to pass. I have no need to divulge more. I mean,
No. In fact, I would like to actually divulge more of this meal, so if you don't mind, I am going to go back and eat.
With that, time passes. And a century goes by.
Oh, damn.
Were we sitting here in the darkness, we would sit here with the lights off in silence for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Ooh.
it would feel like a century.
However, let's see here. RJ. Glory fades, or God's laugh.
We've done one of each so far, right, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do Glory Fades again.
The place that one of the skeletons stands watch over crumbles. It is covered in debris it is now impassable. What on the map changes? And it is one of the places where you are standing watch.
Yeah, so it's either the pit, the ritual room, or the flooded room.
Well, can it not be the flame room?
No one's standing watch in there.
All right.
I think it would be the flooded room.
It was already flooded. It was in need of
A
repairs.
century of overflowing water,
Erosion is a real problem down here.
which blocks off the only entrance from that room to the sarcophagus room.
Yeah, there's only one other interest then.
Mm-hmm.
But that's good
Yeah.
for us. But bad for you.
Yes.
You'll need to find a new home.
Nothing to dip my horn in.
Pity.
Now I will ask you, do you want the entire room to be impassable? Do you want to lose the well?
Ooh.
I will leave this up to you, that the pathway leaving from the room could be the thing that is impassable, or the entire room crumbles. It is
Maybe
your
just
choice.
the pathway, and then more of that hallway leading into it floods. Because of displacement of water. Physics.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Say that the flooding has essentially come all the way up to the,
To the antechamber.
like some of the water is in the antechamber now.
Oh, the poor passerbys are gonna think they can find a source of drinking water here.
I don't think they should drink this water.
Well, we know that.
Well,
Putrid.
if they do, they do. I'm not
Okay.
eating them if they do. Gross.
With that,
100 years. Okay.
Josh, would you please roll a d6 for me?
All right. That's a 2.
Arise and protect the tomb, skeletal guardians. Giant tomb spiders have entered into the dungeon.
Rude.
They are intelligent, graceful, stubborn, clever, and very hard to dislodge. Do you destroy them? Do you reach an understanding? How?
Well, my first reaction to any spider is kill it with fire.
Right.
But that was more of the tattered cloak's business.
I remember a lot of spiders in the nightmare area. It was kind of fun. Now, I should ask you, as not me, it said, do you befriend them? Or sorry, do you come to an
Do
understanding?
you destroy them, or do you reach an understanding, and if so, how?
Okay.
You do move about quite like
You cannot aid them.
Right.
And you cannot ignore them. But the goal is to defeat them.
Exactly. Now, they're nightmare creatures too, and I feel like it would be very rude of me to be like, I'm gonna murder you. But I feel very protective over being the creepy thing here.
Right. Yes, you are the king of nightmares, after all. We
Yes.
can't have
Yes.
a bunch of kings.
So, do we bring them, kill them with fire?
It's been so long since I've been close to the fire. Is it still even hot anymore?
No clue.
Perhaps, as the king of nightmares, you can ask what they would like as humble worshippers of their nightmare king, just as we worship our god king.
Oh,
Maybe
that could be
if,
the understanding.
You earn their respect. They'll tell you what they want here, and we can make an even trade.
And I banish them.
Entreat with them.
That works too, yes.
Assert your dominance over them.
I will entreat. Will you back me up? Be my god.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. I will crawl up into the ritual room, get upon the dais with my pointy crown, and I will entreat with the spiders telepathically and be like, it is I, your nightmare king, for I am the ruler of these lands, and these are my lieges.
All hail the Nightmare King. And I will kneel.
And I get really tall and creepy with my claws.
My limbs protrude from the cloak a little more than usual, and I raise my back up in an arch, trying to my best to mimic your movements.
This is great. I mean, so, get thee hence, I banish you from these lands.
You heard your king.
If you do not go.
You shall meet the cleaving end of this axe.
Yes. And I don't like eating spiders, but I will eat you. Get out.
It is very difficult communicating with these creatures, as your telepathic link only links you.
Damn it.
It's like
He's like,
awkward.
clack, 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 clack.
Through all of this movement, you do almost create a symbiotic relationship with these creatures.
Dancing language.
Very akin to, like the fish that clean the whales.
Remoras.
Remoras, yeah.
Um,
On sharks.
So the spiders begin to feast not on you, as you are flesh and, or well, not flesh but bone. But
What are they doing?
having been covered in continuously in flesh,
Yeah.
they clean you of that, and it seems to have the same reaction as what you were hoping to get.
Just make sure you get between the rib cages.
I have new followers. This is great.
And you find a way of commanding them, and a way of communicating with them.
They will soon be for you what I was for our god king.
And it takes much of the time of the century that has passed before you are able to convince them that maybe this is not the place for them.
They're not going to get much good eating here.
Right.
So,
It may have been the fact that there was very little to eat after they cleaned you.
damn it.
But
you
you
look great.
Thanks. You too.
You do take it as you are their god.
All those meals you've been eating just pile up on your pelvic bones.
They even got between the metatarsals. It's a very hard place to reach.
It did tickle a little bit, if I had feeling. I imagine it probably tickled. That was sometimes in nightmares too.
Ben,
Yes.
glory fades or God's laugh.
God's laugh.
For sure.
A skeleton's weapon is broken, bent, or rendered useless. What will they do now? And note this on your character sheet. It's all of your choice.
I mean, I am my own weapon.
Yeah, I have my axe. You
I
have
have
a.
this pitted, rusted dagger that, well, honestly, it's just a pain to carry around. It's not much of a sacrifice if I give it up.
Isn't that your whole shtick?
No, my whole shtick is servitude.
Oh, right.
Right. I mean, you could take away my devotion, but then what am I?
I think over time, my bearded axe falls to pieces. A loud clang and splash near the well. I'm left holding but a wooden rod.
Would you like a magnificent dagger? I pull it out from my teeth.
I would not know what to do with that.
I do recall many decades, centuries perhaps, we left a sword behind. Somewhere. Where was that?
I can't recall.
Is that where my name was written? On the sword?
Right, yes. An inscription reading Bunsen. Bunsen.
Burner?
That doesn't sound right.
No.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out.
It's a shame about your weapon, though.
Whatever it was, I know it didn't have the ring of Guttridge. You're better off.
Thank you. Very kind of you. I shall find this sword. I shall seek it out. If I can remember where it was left.
With that, you return to your place as a year passes. And we have reached desecration.
No.
Let me see here. RJ, would you roll a d6 for me?
Sure.
4. Arise, skeleton warriors. An army of plunderers.
Oh, shit.
Dozens of bandits with shovels, picks, and axes. They wear a combination of heavy armors and very light but with heavy backpacks. They have done this before. They have ransacked villages, cities, tombs, and yours is just another one on their list. It is nothing special, just another trip on their journey. The chieftain of them, upon entering, notices that there is something very special about the Eternal Flame.
I mean, it never goes out. It's clearly special.
You see him speaking with another of his compatriots, who, as it looks down, begins to speak under his breath and weaves magic in the air.
Oh, God.
How do you defeat them?
I came to a realization in a very, very long relationship with those spiders.
Yes.
You, channeled our king quite well.
Right.
And, as devoted as I am, I felt no guilt in supporting you, and it confirmed a suspicion I've held for quite some time. You know you are born from the king.
Right. Yes.
You are his trusted advisor.
Mm.
I, his humble servant.
What a
But
team.
we are all a part of him. He ascended because of our sacrifice, and I have a suspicion. It's not important what's in that tomb. The only part of our God King, our beloved, well, on this plane anyway, is the three of us.
We are pretty special.
Born from a king.
You have brought up many a time over the years your disgust at the treasure hoard. Am I correct? Perhaps it is time we part with such meaningless gold. Let them have it so long as they do not harm us. Leave us with the structures and with the etchings that were born from our creation.
Yes. That is.
Or, hear me out. What if we become a super scary God King skeleton thing and meet them in the sarcophagus room and absolutely wreck them to pieces and dash them to the ground and we'll have a feast.
Unify our strengths.
Proposing we ascend ourselves, following the
In a
God King's
way,
footsteps.
yes. What can they do? There's a magic man, sure. But we're magic. Think, maybe, I don't know.
I can't do what.
I can't do magic, but like, look at us.
All right. So option one is ascend to godhood and
Right.
defeat these in forceful confrontation.
Yes.
Option two is to offer a trade, treasure for our home. Hear me out, though.
Aye.
We don't care about the treasure, or at least I don't. I don't know if you share my sentiment.
Never been there.
You know, for many, many years, I thought I cared about what's in that tomb, sealed in the sarcophagus. But I think, It's not important anymore. We carry all that is left of the God King. So option C, we can leave.
Oh,
Leave this place to them and spread the good word of the God King to fresh ears.
what if we combine 1 and 3?
Oh,
Become the new God King. Leave the tomb after we dash them to pieces.
you must be hungry.
Always. It's been a century. It doesn't really matter.
I suppose. I mean,
Perhaps challenging this grand army will appease our God King and fuel our ascension and unify our powers.
that's us. We could be truly reunited on the other side.
Listen, it sounds like a pretty good deal.
A brazen challenge is one I have never said no to. I like it.
We fight in the sarcophagus room. Either they defeat us, which, well, I guess we won't know. Or we kill them all.
Yeah.
I like odds.
I think that also rules out number 2 because, well, if we offer them the treasure, they would just try to take it anyways. We'd end up in a fight, I suppose. Now, suppose we bolster ourselves. Maybe we can pick out a few stragglers and bring them over to our cause. Just even the odds a little bit. We also, I believe, according to the murals, need something to sacrifice to make the ascension ourselves.
Spread a little poison in the ears of those less faithful. Maybe there are some dissenters among their ranks. I like your thinking.
Oh, you mean talk to them? See, I was thinking we would turn them into skeletons. Then they'd be on our side,
they are
right?
not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Yes.
So we sacrifice someone in the ritual room. Become God King and kill them all.
It's all coming together. The master plan. I'm on board.
I can meet you up there through the secret tunnel.
All right. I will linger in the shadows, try to remain unseen, and just like my bones just crumple into a pile, completely covered in my tattered cloak. And I remain motionless in the corner as we continue our telepathic conversations.
I will await your cue to swing the slaying blow.
Patience, now patience. If they think that this place is abandoned, if they think they can just walk in here and they've already accomplished their goals, they will make themselves comfortable and drop their guards. Much easier to pick them off, one by one.
Maybe that's what we do. Let them all crawl around.
Right.
And we each...
And when the moment's right, we strike and ascend.
Yes.
And then we can wipe them out, do whatever, yes.
You shall be
wipe
all
out.
powerful.
Wipe out civilization.
Yes.
And then we can return to our beloved God King.
Oh. I don't know if he'll want to see me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You know that, recurring nightmare, there's comfort in it. Perhaps he will be glad to know.
Good point. So murder spree, once they start scattering, ascend, become God Kings, rule the world.
I do not intend to become a God King. I will remain under beloved.
All right.
But you may do whatever pleases you.
I believe he owes me a drink, so I would consider that debt paid should I meet him.
Perhaps this was his plan for us all along.
Oh, that guy.
He was quite brilliant.
Super scared of bunnies, though. So yes, I think we let them start dispersing, split the party, and we each start taking them out one by one.
You all have known patience for years and years. What is a few more days to you as the army of bandits pillage, scatter about? They do begin to become comfortable. Slowly over time, you're able to do it unseen. You pick a few of them off. And by the time they've realized exactly what's happening, they still outnumber you, but you've been able to lure enough of them to the sacrificial room. Blood is spilt on that floor. It's time. And the gateway opens. And and you do feel your bodies emboldened with a power beyond yours. And you wipe the floor clean of them. They do not stand a chance. The power remains within you, but you find yourselves returning to your posts
I am beat.
as an age passes.
Oh.
Were we playing this with the time, we would sit in darkness for 5 minutes.
It's a shame that's bad entertainment because it really does add a flavor to the game, some stakes.
5 minutes of darkness.
I need each of you to answer one question.
I only have 2 left.
I have one interesting one left. What connection do you have to those you've just killed or driven away, and what memory did they evoke? I think it's kind of a backwards thing. So the memory they evoke, I do think that in the Nightmares of the King, I had a legion of my own, and it was like a fierce, never-ending battle that always left that king's actual army dead and lying on the ground. And I think seeing this group of people, it felt like being back in those nightmares and fighting all of them and against them and laying waste to all of their bodies and feeling like that superior nightmare king. So I don't know any of them personally, but it definitely felt like my wildest dream.
I think the one that I can answer is, whom did you once love? I think encountering this larger population of intruders brought about some memory of his younger days, and I think he had a military background as well, whether or not this group moved in like coordinated efforts or they had regular rotations of crew and people reporting up the ranks for what they were finding, but that sparked a memory of fighting in a battalion in his younger days. So he loved his fellow foot soldiers.
Well, I hope you now count us among those ranks.
Absolutely.
And perhaps, if we do become reunited with our God King, maybe let him win one every now and then.
Oh,
You know, just,
You.
like that. My question and answer will come as no surprise, for my by name is evoked in everything I do, the way I carry myself. I am the Bended Knee.
In the age that passes, I need each of you to choose Glory Fades, God's Laugh.
God's laugh.
Something that the skeletons are protecting is lost, stolen, or simply missing. What is it?
This is RJ's answer.
This is you all as a collective.
I have a pitch.
All ears?
The wicks were disturbed
Ooh.
when the army was here, and
Sure.
the flame has gone out.
that makes
Love
sense.
that.
I don't like it.
I'm going to adjust the map.
Those
Oh no.
those magicians were more powerful than we gave them credit for. They disturbed the Wick's power and somehow tampered with the flame, and it has gone out.
Alternatively, I would postulate perhaps we did not need the wick anymore. Perhaps we absorbed that power into ourselves in our ascension.
Probably.
At least that's a comforting way to look at it.
I mean, the mages were very, very powerful, but they did die. They did die. That was pretty good.
Not powerful enough
No.
to stand a chance.
No, we did not give them enough time to study the eternal flame and to absorb it.
And if they had absorbed it, well, then we would have absorbed it right back when we took it. Right?
You're right.
Right. That's how magic works, right?
I always laugh at the gods.
A skeleton's appearance is altered in some way. Perhaps they're marked by magic or fire. Who's changed and how?
Ooh.
I can offer myself as tribute.
If you want. If you have something that comes to mind right away.
Well, it's a kind of an inverse thing here, but I think like after we absorbed or became one with the God King, whatever it is, I think I started walking on 2 feet.
Oh,
Sweet.
sick.
Yeah.
My head is still stooped, and I definitely never stand taller than either of you. Even when you're on all fours, I'll get back down, but...
I mean, I'm walking pretty now.
A little bit more pride, the way I carry myself.
Looking good.
That's cool.
It's, it's... You might see the beloved again. We got to make sure that,
Good
can't
point.
see me slouching around on the floor.
Right.
Right. Josh. Well, I mean, Gloria lives on in all of us, so of course the gods are laughing.
Ooh.
What have we done?
Something from a skeleton's past has been accidentally revealed. What was it, and why was it hidden?
It was Benthen's name. We found it etched into something, and like meticulous finger work to trace it out and like try to remember the alphabet and all of that. To
Maybe
piece it back together, sounding out vowels and consonants until we figured out that it wasn't Bunsen, it wasn't Brendan, it wasn't Brandon, it wasn't Benford. Was it Benthen? Was it Benthen?
Benthen! Benthen was my name. Yes, thank you.
we
Good luck on
found
the
your
last name.
resting place,
I give up. Benthen is good enough, right? Yes.
but the gut wrencher is pretty cool.
Benthen the Gut Wrencher. Now that has a ring to it.
Ooh.
Name like that can't be forgotten.
No, I mean it's etched here on the other sarcophagus next to our old. Oh, we did have another friend, didn't we?
Did we?
It's been a long time. But it's right here. I don't see how you forgot it. Good on you, mate. Ah,
Oh, sorry.
Benthen the gut
Classic
wrencher.
Benthen.
I'm gonna
Seriously.
scoop a bunch of moss out of my eyes, accumulating in my eye sockets, being in the well.
Oh, yes. Yes, that is my name right there. Benthen.
Wow.
A happy reunion.
And as an age passes, worlds crumble. The tomb is flooded.
Really needed to call
What
that
is
plumber.
ruined, mold covered, or decayed after the waters recede? So beyond the current flooding, what happens?
I mean, I think so. We've lost the flame. The well has runneth over. I think it gets.
We fulfilled the ritual.
I
As
think
far
maybe it
as
destroys the mosaic.
as far as we're concerned, that room has met its purpose for the last time.
I think it also kind of destroys the room I'm in because water flows downhill.
As I scratch off the mosaic from the floor,
And I'm sorry about the snake pit. I ate all of them pretty immediately.
and flood the pit.
Perhaps we destroyed the mosaic. it's unwise to leave instructions for anyone to follow in our footsteps as we
This would have
followed.
been
Yeah.
the waters.
Oh, with the
You have no
waters.
choice
I mean,
as to how it's
We
destroyed.
definitely
Well, I was
did.
thinking about it anyway. No harm, no foul. Good job, water.
And also,
Quick work.
time devours.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
The tomb is infested.
Oh no.
What signs of vermin remain long after the infestation ends? So as you sleep for an age, the tomb is infested with things that do not wake you, and they change the tomb.
I think it's mold.
I was gonna say we're fungus,
Yeah.
where it just starts decaying everything it touches.
that much water.
All that dampness and then all of those carcasses we left behind from the army.
Well, and like, that's a silent killer that wouldn't wake us, because it would also work slowly
Yeah.
and just keep spreading and spreading and
Plus-
spreading.
We're pretty immune. I'm immune to biological diseases. I don't know about you all. I also haven't eaten in a millennia. How are you so hungry all the time?
I don't know. It's part of being a nightmare king. You're just always hungry.
Insatiable.
Devouring. It's just whew, too much.
It's like that dream where you just can't drink enough water.
Yes, but it's like my enemies. I just can't keep eating them. Can't stop eating them.
Sounds exhausting.
Your jaw gets really tired.
How's your sodium intake?
Oh, too high. Yes. Now, there's mushrooms everywhere.
I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, it's not the most attractive decor, but they're not bothering us, are they?
It adds a sponginess to the floor that upsets my feet.
You're right. It is so much harder to balance on 2 feet.
Yes.
As I have covered much of the tomb
Sick.
in mold
Ew.
and fungus.
Remember, kids, when you slaughter an army, make sure you clean up.
RJ, would you roll a d6 for me as we continue with the desecration? 1. A necromancer and some mercenaries. They come not in search of treasure, not in search of riches. They come in search of you. They are knowing. They are led by a being of might and magic. Surely this person will use all of their knowledge to try and control you. How does this defeat you?
Ooh, how does this defeat?
You do not succeed. This is your end. What is your ending?
Well, I can't blame him. We are 3 skeletons with the power of a god.
But pretty cool. Ooh, I think, for me at least, I'll probably scramble my way to the sarcophagus room and hide behind the sarcophagus and try not to be seen. But also potentially, I'm not very smart. So I think I probably get caught there.
You radiated this presence before we absorbed the God King's power. I don't know how long this will work, but I will huddle up with you as we try to come up with a strategy.
I don't think claws are gonna work with this guy.
I will do my best to present my shield in a fortifying manner as best as my ability. However, seeing the end in sight, I think I would choose to go down on my own accord, and
I like the way you're thinking.
I think I would seek out. This might get a little gross. Hold on. Just trigger warning here. I would seek out a pool of any type of moisture or liquid that has formed. And I would wrench my own gut from my body as best I could, in a poetic way.
Ah, and poetic. I see.
The scribes will write of Benton, the gut wrencher. Should they ever find out. I do respect his methods, his perseverance to do what I think our God King would have required us to do. We can't let his power fall into anyone's hands.
What if you and I pull each other's heads off? Do you think that'll work?
I don't know. There's gotta be a way, though. Let's... One final act of devotion. Perhaps we can just release that power. Release it back into the halls here, or into the void. I don't know what it is that animates us.
What if we put it back into the God King, and he has to deal with them?
Oh, that's... I have no idea if it'll work, but I don't have any better ideas.
Correct. The necromancer is right behind us, isn't he?
Oh.
Yep.
Actually, I'm right in front of you.
Sorry, we don't have eyes. You see, well, we don't see, but you see, and oh, he can't hear us. We're talking telepath.
I do start moving for the lid of the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I'll help scrape it in and try to get in.
Yeah, the bony
probably a
fingers can
moot
kind of
point.
slide under. I don't know what kind of strength we will, but we do have 2/3 of the power of a God King.
It's true. Our gut wrencher.
But if we can't win this, then maybe he gets us before we can.
We just weird him out.
And there's a new God King in the shape of a necromancer.
It's not a bad gig.
Lucky him, but there's no way anyone will show him the devotion we have shown ours.
So as the gut wrencher fights off and gives you time, you rush towards the sarcophagus room, that which you've been protecting, and open it. Finding yourselves surrounded by the mercenaries as you pry it as close to open as you can. The necromancer stepping in, feeling an energy drawing into you.
Ooh. That does tickle.
As glory fades, one of the skeletons has an extended flashback. Which one and what poignant event in life does it cover for you?
You know, I have one. I don't think I was always the nightmare of the king. I think I have a flashback of when I was their imaginary friend and spent lots of times like just being a weird little guy, like a little bird creature or something, like a lot less creepy, not skeletal, but that over time as he got disillusioned with his power in the world, that's when I became more nightmarish and a thing to fear rather than a thing to confide in. I think that's what flashes before my eyes.
That's cool.
Perhaps he had less of a need for a friend as his ranks grew.
Yeah, but now I'm kind of bummed.
That is, yeah.
Oof.
And as the gods laugh,
Ooh.
the magic animating one of the skeletons surges, making the skeleton far more powerful and capable than before, but only for a moment, and after that, the magic fades to nothing.
in the final moments, is this post necromancer? Is this
It's kind of like the last moments, yeah.
In those final moments, if the Nightmare King would buy me a moment of time, I channel a lifetime and then many more lifetimes of death, a lifetime of devotion into the sheer effort it takes to lift the sarcophagus lid. And in a flash, all the power surging through me returns to the nightmare, to the God King's body, as I crumble into a pile of bones on the ground, never to be animated again.
As the sarcophagus shifts over, all of the energy leaving your bodies, you, for the last moment, feel the energy leaving. Suddenly another hand connecting in as the God King reaches up, grabs hold of the sarcophagus, shoves it aside, and you all collapse. Wow. And that is how the skeletons protecting the God King are defeated.
And yet the God King lives. You said we couldn't win. That's a victory for me.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the skeletons.
Oof.
Wow.
Spicy.
Oh, that was good.
That was awesome.
That was intense.
Now it's usually a good time to do a little bit of self-care after
Yeah.
something so dark and gloomy, but also kind of epic.
Hey.
If you aren't already, please take a moment for some self-care. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure that if you're tired, you're napping. Looking at you, Emmy. But no, that was amazing. I love the skeletons as a method of storytelling because the questions that you answer, it's one of those things that you can go into a story with this idea of who you are, but it's meant to be you have no idea who you are, and things change and force you to like think differently about what all of the preconceived ideas that you had about this character go as time goes on. Also, really quick, because I didn't get a chance to say, listeners, mate, hello, welcome on. Great to see you.
Thanks for coming in.
Let's take a moment actually, and do you want the details of the skeletons? So, the skeletons. This is a game. It's written by Jason Morningstar. Who's the publication on that? It's Bully Pulpit Games by Fair Play and A Square Deal. You can pick this up. I think you can pick it up on. You might be able to get it through TTRPG. You are able to if you Google the skeletons. There's a place to download it. So you can pick it up on Bully Pulpit Games digitally. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link into the chat here. You can also, give a call to your friendly local game store. See if you can't, if they don't have it in stock. And if they don't have it in stock, see if they can't order it, because as always, support local. But also buying it straight from Bully Pulpit Games is a great way of doing that as well, because you are getting it straight from the producer of it, not getting it through anyone else.
It's a really great system because it's so easy to pick up and play. There's no mechanics to memorize.
No
really,
rules.
The rules are part of the experience, the module. Interesting. I've played this game once before, and it did make a difference not having the moments of silence. I know we're a little slap happy just because it's late at night, but like it was harder to stay in that element in between ages, or as chat things happened in chat, and so really you didn't witness the entire experience that is Skeletons. Those moments of silence between ages, they really do add so much to the tone and the energy in the room.
Absolutely.
It came to me kind of like mid-game, and I never got a chance to bring it up during roleplay, but can I tell you guys who I thought our God King was?
Yeah.
Jim.
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 Fucking Jim.
Oh, from the ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
I did catch that one.
And we'll show you all. So this is what the map ended up looking like by the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Lots
that's so
happening
awesome.
to it. It's a super easy game to learn. I've run this game only once before, and it was at the chemistry test for campaign 1. Honestly, not a lot of prep involved. Most of it is in there. If you have
Seems like it, yeah.
any sort of experience as an improv storyteller, it will be super easy for you to pick up and do.
The other cool thing about it, it's like kind of reverse prep in a way because you don't have to prepare going in, but you walk out of it with a ruined map, a ruined temple map with like lore established and characters and history. It's like
Backstories.
Exactly. That like organic, rich stories come out of it.
Yeah, and like you can take any one of those encounters, quote unquote, and use that as the inspiration for like where you're jumping into, or like again reverse engineer and like have that like lead, have that play out over time in like even a truncated timeline. So.
Take this the map we created, turn it into a battle map for your D&D party to explore, full of the traps and the the history worked in. Like it's really honestly fun. Like took us probably as long as it would if you just sat down with pen and paper and tried to write that all out yourself. And I don't know, for me it feels way richer because it's not just one person's story.
Yeah, it's fully collaborative.
Well, and that basically was almost a full 4 hours from
oh my gosh.
setup to finish. So I mean, it's great for a one shot for sure.
Yeah. And the game can also be done solo, so it can be a great journaling game if you just want to come up with a really cool story.
Yeah.
And there's a few variations in this. So we did what is the classic. You're in a tomb, but the variations that are in the book itself, the very next variation it's called Echoes of War, rather than it taking place in a tomb. Now, this variation was written by Sarah Williamson.
Oh.
But this one is you are essentially skeletal wanderers on an ancient battlefield.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then another one, variation written by Jason Morningstar, the same publisher of this, is called Firemount, where rather than being in a tomb, you are in essentially like the dungeon of an active volcano.
Oh, sweet.
That's also sick.
The brother Steve reunited.
And this book has everything you need. It's got the character sheets in the back, but you can find them online, really easy to download. And there's a few other variations as well, or at least bonus things that you can do. We actually did one of them where you play with a facilitator. So that was me. But instead, you could have it just be all players. I could have had a character as well, and we do it that way. Another option, rotating of the spotlight, where every player answers a question, introduces a new intruder. So basically, you change who the facilitator is every single time.
Sure.
So you can just pass the book around.
That's cool.
You can also choose to have a map maker. And again, in the role of the facilitator, I kind of did all of that.
Yeah.
This one is the one I like doing. Every category has 6 options. You roll a 6-sided die to see what happens, choosing how much of the age passes. But the other stuff in here is it encourages you to come up with your own things. For all of the glory fades, God's laugh, time devours, and worlds crumble. It encourages you, hey, come up with your own stuff.
Your own consequences.
And this one, if you're not able to play in a quiet space, if you're playing this out and about at your friendly local game store, that suggests that you embrace the distractions, that in those moments of silence, all of the sounds that are happening around you is time passing.
Oh, interesting.
So that it's a lot more lively of a time passing, but you aren't a part of it.
Yeah.
The world keeps moving around you as you wait.
And if you find yourself as if you are a writer and you really like the idea of this, much like Dialect, where we have written our own versions of Dialect, you can write your own modules for this. It's super easy to do.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. I know it worked well to have you facilitate, obviously, with the map and hosting everything because of the stream, but next time we play, I'd love to try the 4-player or
oh my gosh,
player method.
I'd love to do this in just us hanging out and playing some games and actually be able to sit in the silence, but with what time?
I mean, we're lucky that we get to spend so much time with our friends playing games we love.
Right.
It just happens to mostly be on stream these days. The private game nights are few and far between, but I honestly am so grateful for what we have, and probably play more D&D and more games this way than if we didn't have the stream. So thank you
I mean,
all
having
for
a stream
giving us a reason.
gives us a schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And scheduling is always the bane of.
The ultimate
Any gaming group.
EG.
Yeah, seriously.
The time.
Jeff in the chat saying, "Wait, Scotty, you're saying me, the common idiot, can play this themselves? You absolutely can."
I have
Jeff.
faith, Jeff, that you actually excel, not just scrape by.
I absolutely believe that if you really pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and find an intelligent friend, you can absolutely.
Just
No,
cut
you're
out
good.
the avocado toast.
I want to be very clear. We know Jeff. Jeff is a good
Yes.
friend. We give him a lot of crap.
You may know him as Pan.
Yes.
That voice may be part of the reason why we give him a hard time.
Was there anything else that kind of came up for you all during the game? This creative process that you experienced, or things that maybe you weren't expecting that popped up?
For sure. Yeah.
There's just some really. I know a lot of the things are, based on our decisions, what you read out loud, how the ages progress is a little bit like, pre-generated tables, but like there was a lot of like poetic symmetry to this gameplay session. Where it's like I the first question I answered was my name, and then I immediately forgot my name,
Oh,
and then it came back to me by the end.
That was really nice.
That's
That-
really
that
cool.
Came up synchronicity, or I don't know, maybe it's just like us all being storytellers ourselves. We
Yeah.
see those opportunities and we know
Yeah.
how to maximize the potential of them.
throw the bone, if you will,
yeah.
to another player.
Yeah.
I don't. This experience was a little different for me than the last time.
Mhm.
I found last time I was still learning things about my character, even on the last question. This time I was like very singularly focused, but that gave me, in a way, more time to listen to you guys, and I wasn't thinking about what my motivations were, what I need to discover about myself. I cared about one thing at the beginning, and by the end I cared about you all. So
Yeah.
I appreciated that this time around. I felt like I wasn't as much of a contributor to the group story last time.
I also think it was very interesting to go down a player in the middle of the session.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And props to Carrie. That was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that
such a
was
beautiful
like
way.
well done.
thinking on her feet, like
Yeah.
really awesome, like narrative decisions.
I mean, she has work tomorrow, so she had
Yeah.
to get out of here at a
Right.
specific time, and I was about to like flash the time at her, and then I like kind of picked up what she was about to set up, and I was like,
Had
oh
to,
my
like-
gosh, that is just
Yeah.
masterful.
Really
I
cool.
hated having her sacrifice herself, but also I was like, hey, this is a beautiful way to go. And
Yeah.
also, she
Well,
gotta go.
And in a way, it's again the poetic symmetry, because she was reunited with the person she cared the most about, just like we were kind of reunited with our God King that we were all part of. Or,
On the subject of people having to leave, Zarby, have a great rest of your
Good
night.
night, Zarby.
It was so much fun getting to play Jackbox with you today. Sleep well. We'll talk to you here soon.
Thank you for the embezzlement as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, a decent amount of embezzlement there. Jeez.
Yeah.
I really appreciated how Carrie, ultimately crafted that and then offered it up, because
Yeah.
from the seat of a storyteller, having gems like that is such a gift that the player can't give you anything better.
A little peek behind the curtain. Did you have a backup plan for getting her out of here? We knew she had like a heart out. Like,
Honestly, my plan, because I know there was that idea of can a player stop this mid game, and very clearly, obviously, yes. And my plan was that during one of the ages passing, it would simply be one of you doesn't actually wake up anymore.
like the effect of the God's laugh or glory
Exactly.
days.
And it is one of those things where, having that peek behind the curtain, I'd say about 90% of the times that I rolled the die there, it was the random one. And about 10% of the time I was choosing something.
Sure.
Even though there was a die being rolled.
So a little bit of the poetic symmetry was by craft, perhaps.
But honestly, not a whole lot. Most of the time, there's little check boxes on this that once you do one, you ignore it. And so simply just skipping down to the next one.
So like if we rolled a double on
exactly,
something.
yeah. That is the only one though that when Carrie offered that up, I actively chose the what would happen
That makes
during
sense.
Glory Fades and God's Laugh, because there is that one that what is it? The magic animating one of the skeletons, but not its compulsion to serve fades.
Yeah.
So it no longer, Carrie's skeleton was no longer animated by the magic, it was animated by the spirit.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm going to choose this for the ending, but looking at those, I went, wow, that fits perfectly. So
Yeah.
why try and force anything else when
And
it's already just handed to you?
It's not you didn't even shoehorn it in.
Mm-mm.
You just
No.
like
No,
put a little
it felt
epilogue
natural.
on what Carrie crafted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that doesn't
Super cool.
feel cheap or forced.
And there are quite a few things that never showed up on those lists. Each one of Glory Fades and God's Laugh has 6 options.
Wow.
And then Worlds Crumble and Time Devours, it happens on the much longer ages.
Right.
So as time passes, you'll note with every of the chapters, we began with the Unsealed Tomb, the first time that it was opened, moved into the Time of Dust, and then moved into the Desecration. Each of the time passing, there's 6 options. So it is built very beautifully for us, just a D6. And then with each one of those, there's 3 options as to what creatures show up.
Yeah. That's
But-
actually what was interesting to me, because we had the family show up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big part of, we always talk about like, that's what my character would do. And it's really hard not to meta sometimes and do things that you as a person would want to do, which is like you instinctively want to take care of another
Right.
traveler. You want to
Yeah.
help
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
You want to aid them.
You don't want to create orphans.
Yeah, and well,
Or
look, we made a new D&D player
Mm-hmm.
that night.
That's an adventurer's
Yeah,
story right there.
Backstory, yep.
But-
That's 2 adventurers' backstories. The
Yeah.
brother and sister now going off and
I mean, we are
becoming
supposed to be
clerics and
murder
paladins.
Well, and that's exactly it, where it's like, I could see if playing a different character it would make you do something different with them, like just try and scare them off. But like, I had already set up
Mm-hmm.
that I devour stuff, and I was like, well, that's what my character would do.
Yeah.
I also kind of like that, like because we can chat telepathically at distance, it circumvents that problem that the D&D parties face, where they strategize in front of NPCs.
Yeah.
So we
We're doing this
actually-
while we're walking and talking.
Yes.
right. Yeah, let's maybe not plot the king's murder in the throne room. But anyway, that was fun to be able to strategize and like talk out different options, and then we could mutually come together on something that was usually like a combination of the various pitches.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most difficult things for players to kind of get used to, especially players that are used to D&D, because I've seen this now in both of the sessions of this that I've run, is once coming up with a plan, instinctually you're looking to the facilitator, like, all right, does this work?
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
You
this is-
automatically succeed.
Yeah.
There are no dice rolls onto how this goes.
We
You
make the
are,
decisions.
you're telling a story.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
flavor text.
exactly, the
Yeah.
whole game is flavor text.
And then we just get to act out
Um,
the parts that we have the most fun with.
And so with this, I'll again, peeking behind the curtain, I see Mitchie finds a copy of the Skeletons, has online shopping accident. So Mitchie, you can read along.
Amazing.
For the Unsealed Tomb, choose an intruder, mark it, and follow the instructions. When 2 intruders have been checked off and dealt with, go to the next era. So you always deal with 2 of the 3, and then 2 of the 3. And then for the Desecration, choose an intruder, mark it, and follow the instructions. When you feel that you've spent 10 or more minutes in the dark across the entirety of the game, the next intruder will defeat you.
Nice.
That's cool. So once you've sat in the dark and felt the ages pass for 10 minutes of game time, whatever shows up next is going to be the thing that defeats you. And that is another kind of nice thing to know. When you start this game, there's no winning. It just it ends. The story is done. And so having that ability to narrate, oh, this is how we lose.
Although I will say there's a difference between victory and a satisfying conclusion.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
like, we weren't personally victorious. We're all done. Our purpose
Yeah.
was fulfilled. We're piles of bone, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, for me, that was like an incredibly satisfying way to close it. Like, it didn't feel like defeat, didn't feel like we failed. It didn't feel.
Well, and as a pile of bones, like at some point, we had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That purpose was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and so there was like, there is like lovely poetry of being able to say, well, it doesn't really matter that my story doesn't continue.
Mm-hmm.
I was already a pile of bones, and I'm just going to be a pile of bones.
I have written on my character sheet, in what way is your immortal curse also an awful blessing? And all I wrote is, we are whole here. And that didn't change with the conclusion, even though we were defeated. That still is true to me anyway.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm curious, so every character sheet has a map question that you answer while you come up with a map. And then there's 6 questions as time passes. We picked which one to answer in what order. Is there a version where you roll the dice to determine?
That's what I did.
You rolled it?
Yeah, it's completely up to you.
Okay.
At one point I rolled 2.
You can answer so anytime, and typically during those defeats or the ends of an encounter, you were given the option to answer a question, and usually it's an option. You may answer a question, but then in certain scenarios you must answer a question. So
Like if you kill someone, you must answer at least one question, but you may answer 2.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's different for every encounter, but so you can be as fleshed out or as mysterious as you want for your character.
Did anybody answer all 6? I had one.
I have one
didn't.
left.
I had one left, but it was not an interesting question after some of the other ones were answered.
My last one available was, what connection do you have to those you just killed or driven away? What memory did they have?
Oh, yeah.
Which never really triggered any type of inspiration in me, which I'm fine with, you know?
Yeah.
The one I didn't answer is just what was my name, which was completely unimportant to my skeleton. And in fact, like, I was almost on the Benthin front where, like, it was so unimportant to me that I probably didn't bother remembering. I didn't roll the dice to answer the questions. I knew the answer to most of these, like, pretty early on. And so I revealed them in an order that I felt like built on the last or was relevant to what you guys had come up with.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of felt that way through the middle part. Like, there was a couple, like, early on, and, like, towards the latter, I was like, I think I want to start here and then build on that. But then there were some that just came up through the ages that just, like, yeah, okay, I know it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll also notice that on these sheets, at the bottom in observations, there's different things that your specific character might notice.
Yeah, I didn't actually observe that.
Yeah, I under memories, there's like, here's some names
Yeah.
that I might recall from sunny days before. Never even saw that during roleplay.
If we had to name the God King, I was going to pull one of the names from the memories.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But I also, like, the observations was like things you might see around the tomb, and I felt like we were organically coming up with those things on our own without like needing the additional.
Well, and these are
input.
great moments. So, like, the times to look at these observations are when building the tomb.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for inspiration, it's the same way that I think of the background traits in D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
Ideals, flaws, and all of those, where it's not necessary for you typically for building a character, but for having those things of just drawing moments of inspiration that will fuel your role play.
And it can
Those
give
are
you
the things.
touchstones of
Exactly.
when you ask, like, when you are confused as how your character might respond in a certain situation, and say your background is, or not your background, but like one of those things is, I believe there's good in everyone. That gives you like, okay, I remember that I will not mistrust this person because I always see good in people. So I think those kind of little nudges are really helpful.
I also think too, just like with the simple map building for people who don't play D&D as much, who don't live and breathe in the world of like exploration and a little bit of like architecture and stuff like that, like just having little suggestions of like, oh yeah, this is what is in ancient stone structures, you know, is really helpful.
A lot of the things on my character sheet under the observation sections were ruled out really early when we decided that this was a self-contained tomb with a ritual chamber. Stuff like a forge, bathing font, silver cast. So if we had like needed the additional resource, it's right there. It's like a great tool to like help populate that world. But it's also kind of cool to not feel tied to it as well.
I will
Rather
say,
than trying to force it in, we organically just let it unfold.
the observations on mine are eerily like on point for how the story even progressed.
Sweet.
Goes,
Like what?
well, I'll just read it. Light where no light shines. Inchoate sounds from another time shaking the dust. Invisible tendrils of dying magic. The heat of the earth. Chunks of wax from dried out spells of warding worked loose from the masonry. And I'm like, that was almost like how the story progressed.
That's cool.
Mine has somewhat similar stuff. It's like a dome, pillars, vaults, pedestals, porticos, sarcophagus, an altar, intricate stone decorations, carvings, screens and furniture in wood, stone, or metal, treasure chests, religious objects, inlaid gems and precious metals, and decorative filigree. Like, all of that could have been found in our tomb, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show how detailed you can get, how simple you can keep it. Because quite frankly, we kept it very simple.
If I was going to use this as a battle map and like actually run it in a D&D campaign after we created it here, I would use those little details as description to the party. But to me, tonight, it didn't feel necessary. It didn't feel like it added any environmental stuff that we needed anyway.
Some weird ass skeletons pop up and start attacking you.
You know, one thing I have noticed about the map, there were a couple of places that were never kind of ventured into. I don't think anyone ever went into the trap room. But also, I specifically left it untouched by the moss in that the treasure room was never opened.
We don't care,
No.
I guess. I mean,
Well, why would we?
yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do with it?
But like it was pitched of like to utilize some of it. It was pitched, it was like possible like I think if we hadn't started with, I think if we started somewhere different than the inexperienced adventurer, we may have gone into the treasure room a bit more.
You know what though? In the sequel or in the epilogue, the God King now has all that treasure. He can go rebuild his whole ranks and start this whole
He's
process
got
over
a
again.
trust fund, baby.
That's why it's important to invest and save. You never know when you're gonna need it. I'm thinking about posting my character sheet. I did a little sketch on my skeleton
please.
in our subscribers Discord on Adventures Pack Discord.
Yeah, if you each want to take a
I'll take
quick
a
snapshot
picture.
of your character.
I'm no artist, but at least then you can have a visual reference for all these things we're
Yeah,
talking
same.
about.
Not at all.
I didn't write the answer to one of mine, but I did sort of write them to the others.
Carrie did a great drawing.
I know.
So I'll take a photo of it tonight. I'll check with her tomorrow if she's okay with us sharing it. And I imagine she will
sick.
be. And so, keep an eye out for hers tomorrow, assuming she is cool with that.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
She's a much better artist than me, though. Hers looks really good.
I am going to do one thing really quick, and I'm going to ask that everyone present here please continue looking at your phones and don't look at the screen.
Can and will do.
Secrets.
Secrets. I forgot what I was doing already.
Discord.
Adjusting this so it's horizontal.
Oh, right.
Hit the edit button right there. How do I do? Okay.
There are also maybe some cryptic notes about sparrows. Just ignore.
There we go.
Okay.
Our characters are going to be really good friends with our taste in music.
Tool and
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Something about that actually makes sense in my head though.
I mean,
Like a folk
Sound of
metal.
Silence by Disturbed,
Yeah, there you go.
just right in
There you
between
go.
there, right?
Ooh, I do love that cover.
That is one of my
It is
favorite
so
covers
good.
of any song ever.
So not to wax poetic, but too much. But there was one time I was running at the gym, and that song came on as like the last song of my playlist, and I was like literally almost in tears on the treadmill because it was so cool to like come down off that workout endorphin high to the sound of Silence by King Disturbed.
And they're like,
yes, oh my god,
God, I might have to put that on.
you should. If y'all haven't worked out to Disturbed before.
Usually
Transcendent.
it's usually like Beyonce and Lady Gaga and like some poppy music, but I can see.
No, put it as your cool
the-
down.
yeah.
As your cool down, you'll thank me. Like it's so fun. It's so fun.
I am going to save this map as well. We'll end up posting it in our Discord. Let me go ahead and
So you can use it in your home games. I actually really do love that element, though. This was the most fun D&D prep I've ever done.
Right?
Yeah.
all right.
I do want to play the battlefield.
Yeah.
That seems so
I'd love to do that
fun.
one.
That'd be wild.
Because then you can like not only design place yourselves, but like where were you fighting?
like the dreams of the God King.
I know.
That's
right?
where I was fighting.
The volcano one also sounds like it could be easily like reskinned as like Mordor while Sauron is sleeping between ages.
Or even hell.
Well, here,
Oh,
like
yeah.
as we are winding down, why don't I go ahead and read you the opening for the battlefield?
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Is it a castle? Is it a city? Is it a farm?
The farm, yeah.
I want to play.
Legit.
Wind howls across the blood-soaked fields. The great war machines lie abandoned, sunk deep into the mud. The sounds of battle give way to the whispered prayers of the wounded, tired and weak. But deep beneath the layers of dirt and rust, we hear the echoes of war. The armies above rot, but we have earned no such easy rest. The clash of metal against metal reverberates in our skulls. We grip our weapons in the dark, and when the armies march again, we are ready. We hear all, and we wait.
Metal.
So cool.
So,
Okay,
are
so-
you building the map again in that one, or is it a different
Yeah, you're building the map again.
of the battlefield itself?
I'm just saying, we have 5.5 hours left of this 17-hour whatever we're at stream. You don't need to sleep, right?
Right. Yeah.
We could just keep
Well, I mean, we
playing
can
more
facilitate
skeleton.
ourselves, right?
Right.
Although Pitch Storm does sound like the perfect palate cleanser after that.
It really does. Some haha times.
But if Baldur's Gate doesn't, no.
Well, so on that note, that is going to wrap things up for skeletons.
Oh boy.